If you could start now.
Okay. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jonathan Bba. I'm representing the University of Trento in northern Italy. And to begin, I have a brief video that I would like to share with you so you can kind of get to know the area surrounding the city of Trento, where the university is located, to get an idea of some of the natural environment and some of the socio-economic activities within the territory around the university. And then after that, a brief presentation about the University of Trento, general information. And then afterwards, to close, I can take specific questions that anyone may have, and I can share information with via chat or answer verbally. So let me share my screen to begin the video, hopefully. Let me see one thing, 1 minute. Okay. Are you all able to see the video and hear?
Yes.
Okay, as I mentioned, a brief video so you can get an idea of the area surrounding the city of Trento, some of the natural attractions, some cultural activities, also some important economic activities around Trento. And to continue now, as I mentioned, I'd like to share a brief presentation with you about the University of Trento. As you can see here, we're located a very general map, but in northern Italy, not far from the Austrian border. As we've just seen, the city of Trento is located just at the base of the Dolomites mountain range, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So numerous activities
sorry, we can't see your presentation now.
Oh, you can't? Okay, let me reshare. Excuse me. Now?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, it's not in. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. I had to exit share screen and then re-enter. Sorry about that. So I'll start again. So as you can see here on the very abstract map of Europe, the city of Trento, where the University of Trento is located, is in northern Italy, not far from the Austrian border. And as we've just seen, the city of Trento is located at the base of the Dolomites mountain range. So surrounded by mountains where you can do a lot of different sports activities, recreational activities, and various economic activities that are important for the area. With respect to the university, so now you've seen previously what there is to do outside of the university. So now we'll enter the University of Trento. It was founded in 1962 as a higher institute for social sciences. So initially sociology, and you can see in the photo here on the right, the original sociology building, which still today houses the Department of Sociology, which is in the center of the city of Trento. Just to give you a brief background. We have over 17,000 students, of which 1,350 are international students. So a high percentage of international students at the University of Trento. Around 700 professors and researchers, and around 750 administrative staff. We have 26 bachelor's degrees, 3 of which are in English, 43 master's degrees, and 25 of those are in English, and 17 PhD programs, the majority of which are in English, with 13. The University of Trento is divided into 3 campuses, or as we call them, poles. They're all part of the University of Trento, but they're located in 3 different areas. The city campus in the city of Trento, there you can find the Economics and Management Department with the School of Innovation, which we can talk about a little bit later. Also the Humanities Department, which includes language study, international studies, law, and sociology. And then the sciences and technology area is located in Povo and Messiano, which is a campus on a hill just above the city of Trento, very nearby. And there we have the computer science department, engineering, math, medicine and surgery, which is a new department here at the University of Trento, and it's currently not open to exchange students. But just so you know that we do have a medicine and surgery school, physics department, integrated biology, agriculture, food, and the environment. And then in Rovereto, which is a small city about 20 kilometers south of Trento, we have the Psychology and Cognitive Science Department and the Mind and Brain Sciences Center. So just to sum up, as you can see here, we have 11 departments, 3 centers, 4 libraries, numerous research labs, 1 language center, and 3 sports centers. With regard to you, international students, which we hope to welcome you in Trento or Rovereto at some point. Just a brief overview of the programs that we have and the different networks that we are a part of. With regard to bilateral agreements, we have partnerships with around 180 international universities. We have 45 double degree programs in 16 different countries, 8 EIT programs in different areas that you can see here. We have 2 joint master's degree programs, 3 Erasmus Mundus joint master's degrees, and 3 Fulbright chairs. Okay, here we go. With regard to Erasmus, we have many partnerships, 340 in EU program countries, 64 international credit mobility partners in 26 extra European Union countries, 6 mobility projects since 2015. We are part of the ECIU, the Innovative University Alliance, which we're very proud of. The only university in Italy to be a part of ECIU. We have 1 Jean Monnet Center of Excellence, and as you can see here, we participate in various projects and alliances. Briefly about international student mobility opportunities. As previously mentioned, we have the Erasmus ICM program and also bilateral agreements. These are both exchange opportunities that are available between the University of Trento and our partner universities for bachelor, master, and/or PhD students to attend courses or conduct research, depending on the agreement. Each agreement does not always provide for all types of students, so you need to be familiar by asking your international office which types of students are eligible for which type of exchange or mobility opportunity. Nomination, students must always be nominated by their home university after selection process. Nomination deadlines for the University of Trento were for this year, May 15th for the fall semester starting in September of 2021, and 15th of October for the spring semester. These dates are the same every year. They have been at least so far. And then 3 months in advance for research mobility. After being nominated, students need to complete the online application by the 31st of May for fall semester and by the 31st of October for the spring semester. And the duration of your mobility can be from 3 months to 1 semester, or perhaps more, depending on the program. And for research, 3 months or more, also depending on the type of agreement. The services available for international students, we help you through the entire process from your nomination through your application, pre-arrival if you need a visa, all information related to your arrival, your accommodation. If you need a stay permit, the welcome office here is dedicated to assisting international students, helping you, guiding you through the process of pre-arrival. And then once you're here, we suggest you arrive about a week before the semester starts, at least a week, because we have various orientation activities, welcome weeks in September and February, which are organized by the Welcome Office and other offices. And each student receives individual support through these administrative procedures with the Welcome Office connected to other offices. And then once you're here throughout the semester, there are various social events and welcome parties with other international students and also Italian students. The Welcome Office offers various guided visits and excursions to some of the places we saw in the video, in the mountains, visit lakes, also museums, cultural attractions, perhaps historical monuments. So there's a good variety of opportunities to get to know the local area, which is also important. Not only get to know the university, but the surrounding area. Also important, learning languages. If you come to study a language, you can find a tandem language partner. And then also, hopefully you'll be interested in learning a little bit of Italian, and you can find a local Italian student who can help you with that, and also guide you, help you navigate the local environment in the university system, and then also a welcome news letter with international news and local news related to the university and the surrounding area. We're almost finished. Just services and facilities for students. We have in the photo here, the upper left, you can see one of our dormitory buildings. So new and modern with over 1,200 beds for students, not only international students, also Italian students. So it's a great place to meet people from all over the world, share recipes, learn different languages, study together. It's a good place to mix. And also there are study areas. Here we have, there's a gym nearby, there's a climbing gym. It's very near the bus stop. So it's well connected to other facilities and services within the city of Trento. There are numerous PC workstations available for students. Numerous scholarships have been awarded over the past, during the recent years. We have 5 university restaurants open to students and staff, distributed among the 3 campuses that I mentioned earlier. In this smaller photo here, you can see one example of the university restaurants, a good variety of food, also with vegetarian options, serving lunch and dinner in some of the locations. And then various services offered to different types of students. Then sports and free time, also important after you study, do well on your exam, to relax a little bit. So as we've seen before, sports activities are very, very popular here in Trentino with the local population, just because of the landscape and traditions. So here in the photos, you can see some of them. In the middle, there's you can see people in a canoe race. The University Sports Association, Unisport, open to exchange students and all students, provides various courses such as yoga or karate. Also, they have different competitions. This is one of them, the canoeing race. So those are available to you. If you're not interested in sports, that is totally fine, because there are numerous museums and cinemas, historical monuments and cultural attractions. So really something for everyone in the university and outside the university. And with this, I'd like to conclude. You can see here our website, www.unitn.it. The homepage, and from there you can do a search for any information that you may be interested in. Our web magazine, and then here our social media, Instagram and YouTube. And then if you want to write us an email, you can send us an email. The International Relations Division is the office that I work in and that I'm representing today. And our email address is international@unitn.it. So with that, I'll take any questions you may have, specific or general, and hopefully I'll be able to answer them. If they're too specific, then I can hopefully refer you to the correct office or person who can give you a complete answer. So please let me know if you have either via chat or microphone if you have a question.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. It was very informative presentation. I would like to, just a little technical addition, I would like to say to the students who just joined us that we unfortunately had to move a little bit our speakers today, but just so you know, we have this presentation recorded. We will put the record on our website, so if you missed some of the Jonathan's presentation, you will be able to see it on the website. And yes, and now let's have a Q&A session. Please do not hesitate. If you have any questions, just raise your hand and speak up. Any questions?
It can be related to any aspect, academics or...
Lera Ivannikova is asking something with a cute cat on the...
Okay, so I'm sorry we missed your presentation, but and maybe you told about it, but I had a question. Is there any opportunity to pass exams early, at least in January?
That's a good question. And the answer is it depends, because it depends on the area of study and the department. It does happen. The students, although need to, during the nomination process, the home university needs to let Uni Trento know that this specific student is requesting an early exam. And then the mobility office here later on will relay that information to the department, but then it's also up to the student when they arrive, the first day of class or the first week, to also ask the professor, because ultimately it depends on the professor. Most professors will grant an early exam, but that's not always the case. So the earlier you raise the issue and make your request, the better chance you have of taking an early exam. But it's not always guaranteed.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I see a chat. Let me open the chat.
There is a question in the chat.
Yes, here we have.
There is a question, if you can name the 3 bachelor programs which are taught in English. Could you do that?
I'll send you I'll put the links here in the chat so that you have direct information. Just to also explain a little bit, this is CHIELS. It's a relatively new program, Comparative European and International Law Studies program, legal studies, excuse me.
Okay. Any other questions? Because if you don't have any questions, I'll ask them, if you don't mind. Okay. Well, first of all, I have a list of questions which students normally ask very, very often, and that's why we address them to all the speakers.
Okay.
For example, speaking of the courses which are available, do you have, probably I missed it in your presentation, but just to draw attention again to this question. Let's say students, before they go there, they have the preliminary learning agreement, which has like list of courses. Sure. But then when they come to the university, they figure out that there is a time lapse, the time clashes, or they have some prerequisites very hard, or they're missing something. How is it possible to change the learning agreement upon arrival, and what is the period when students may have the chance to change it?
Well, I would say, as before, it's best when possible, obviously, to try to finalize everything and learn about the prerequisites before arrival. But sometimes that might not be possible due to late exams at your university or other reasons. So if you're able to, try to finalize everything and have it approved for your study plan before you arrive. But once you arrive and then you find out that you need to change it, again, as soon as possible, through our mobility offices. But we have mobility offices for the 3 different poles that I mentioned. So there are 3 different mobility offices that correspond to different degree programs and academic areas. So as soon as possible when you arrive, if you need to change the study plan, then you would need to contact the mobility office, and then also your university, because I would assume that your mobility office would also need to know about the changes, you know, for for the students' exams when they return to make sure everything is recognized. So is that's the
Yeah,
case?
that's clear. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, that's good. That's good. There is some some space for.
Yeah, there's some flexibility for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to be flexible, but it's also, on the other hand, good to try to, plan ahead when you can. But
Of
things
course.
happen. Things
But,
happen, of course. Yeah, we understand.
Okay. Are there any questions so far? While we are asking the general questions. Some specific questions are very welcome. Okay, if not, then I will ask you another one.
Sure.
I've seen the beautiful dormitories that you have showed during your presentation. The question is quite simple. What is the policy to apply for them? Are they available for all the incoming or international students, or there is a first come first served process for selecting those who live there? And what would be the average price for the residents in those dormitories?
All very good questions. Let me, whether or not students are available, or whether or not students have access to university housing depends on the type of agreement that we have with partner universities.
What if we have both the student exchange agreement and ICM Erasmus Plus agreement? What to do in this case?
Yeah, normally the bilateral degree students that participate in more of a direct exchange have access or can apply for the university housing. I'll send you here in the chat the link to the homepage of the housing association. It's called Opera Universitaria, and that is the English version of the webpage. And there you can find lots of details on information. But normally the Erasmus students, in most cases, are responsible for finding their own housing, whereas the bilateral agreement students can apply for housing. Housing is not guaranteed. There's an application process, and as you mentioned, or as you asked, it can be on a first come, first served basis, or can also depend on when students plan on arriving. If they plan on arriving late, then all the rooms may be filled by students who have arrived earlier. So there are a few different factors to consider, and the prices also depend on how long the students will be there, obviously, and if it's a single room or a double room. And then right now, of course, unfortunately, there's all over the world, the COVID restrictions. So that's also influenced the number of students allowed in the dormitory, which has obviously been reduced. So hopefully in the next few months, things will slowly return to more or less how they were before. So right now, everything's kind of in a different situation than it was before. So on that webpage, though, you'll be able to find all the updated information as it's been issued. Mm-hmm. Okay. Does that answer your question? Hopefully?
Yes.
Okay.
It's very logical way to disseminate the places, of course. We pretty much use the same for our incoming students.
And also there, through that web page, you can find contact information if you have more specific questions for the opera.
So when students want to apply for the accommodation, they go directly to this accommodation team?
Well, no. During the nomination and application process, they'll be in contact with the mobility. Well, during the nomination process, your mobility office will be in contact with our mobility office. And then once the student has been shall we say, authorized to complete the online application, then the student will be in contact with our mobility office. And during that process, they will identify or make it known that they would like to apply for university housing.
Mhm.
Does that
Okay,
make, okay.
that's
I
great.
see a question in the chat. I would like to ask if an exchange student who has submitted an online application has to do anything else until June. If you have submitted an online application by the 31st of May, then you will be contacted afterwards by the mobility office here at Uni Trento, and they will provide you with instructions on what to do next. So there may be other steps to follow in June, and then certainly there will be other steps to follow in the months after the application before you arrive. So that's if you're arriving in the fall, then that would be the case. And then, as I mentioned before, for the spring semester, the application deadline is the 31st of October. And then after that, you would be contacted, the same case, you would be contacted by our mobility office regarding the next steps. So hopefully that was a complete answer. I see another question in the chat. This is good. Lots of questions. Could you please say some words about base payments for the fee for studying?
Vera, you probably mean like average spending per month, because the studying in frameworks of student exchange is free of you don't pay for the tuition fee.
Right, exactly.
Do we get you right? You mean just regular spendings for life?
There are only fee payments, some payments for dormitory, and about studying the program, there is no payments.
Well, as Daria mentioned, the exchanges, the students only pay tuition to their home university, so we don't charge fees for studying at Uni Trento. If you come within one of the, or under one of the agreements that we have, either a bilateral or Erasmus agreement that Daria mentioned. But then students are responsible for their own room and board. So we don't pay for, at least automatically don't pay for students lodging here at Uni Trento. The exchange students are usually responsible for paying for their own room. But I can send you, as Daria also mentioned, like the cost of living. I had the webpage open, so I can send you a link because you also might be referring to this. This is again general, estimated amounts for cost of living. And as you can see, so it starts out with a stay permit, which is applicable for students from outside the European Union, generally. And then health insurance, as is pretty standard, is required by most universities. So for us, for the University of Trento, also to apply for your visa, if you come from outside the European Union, you have to submit proof of health insurance. And then you can see other requirements and estimated costs of living as you scroll down the page. So hopefully that will help to answer that aspect of your question.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's always good to know in advance how much you will be spending in this or that university. I mean, in this or that part of the city, because it's always very, very different, because we have partners from London, for example, and from little student towns in all over the Europe. So the average spendings may differ.
Yeah, no, that's true. And it's an important consideration, especially the first month. It's a substantial sum of money, but it includes many of the things that will last the entire time of your study period. So it's the insurance and the stay permit. Those two things mainly cost quite a bit, but that's the only you only pay those one time, and then the next months it's a lot less. So it's a good idea to become familiar with that page, so you kind of can budget how much you need to spend on food and lodging and other expenses such as the stay permit and health insurance.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Dear students, do you have any more questions about the University of Trento? Okay, I'll go first. I'll go further.
Okay, sure.
Jonathan, that might be a very annoying question, which we as workers of the international unit hear a lot. But do you have any ideas on how the study mode will be presented in fall semester in regards of whether it's going to be hybrid, face-to-face, totally, or virtually? What is your current policy for it? Of course, I know you cannot predict, neither can we, but what would be your current policy for incoming students? Thank you.
Currently, we, as you correctly mentioned, we can't predict, but our current hope is that we'll be able to return mostly to students physically attending class on the campuses here at the University of Trento. Obviously, most likely still with maybe a limited number of students per time, and maybe still with rotations, but we hope to be able to prioritize a return to physical, face-to-face lectures. But yeah, we'll see in the next few months. Maybe that will be supplemented also by online courses. It just depends on the kind of the evolution of the pandemic, but our hope is to return as soon as we can to mostly face-to-face lectures.
Mm-hmm. I see. Well, just to mention, we have pretty much the same expectations for our semester from the side of our university, because I know that there are some students from University of Trento coming to us.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully, I mean, I think throughout the world, we hope to return to whatever a new normal life will be as soon as we can. So especially with international mobility, I mean, it helps so much with the students' university education and also personal growth and, language, learning new languages. It helps on so many levels. So hopefully we can return to physically traveling and, being on another university's campus as an exchange student as soon as possible. So.
Yeah, that's true. So, dear students, we all hope for the best. And if something changes, we will try to react as quick as
Definitely
possible.
will. As we have before, we'll adapt. That's the only alternative. So we'll communicate as soon as we have an updated policy. We'll definitely let you know. We'll send updates to all of our partner universities. So.
That's great. Okay, dear students, any questions that came up to your minds? I just would like to underline that that's a really good opportunity for you to ask the question directly to the person. Yes,
right.
Well,
I should say also I'm just one of the many people here. So you can also, let me put I'll write our email address here again. You can, as I mentioned, if you have a question later on, I know some of you might be timid or tired or eating lunch or something, but here you can international@unitn.it. That's our international office where I work. And you can ask any question you may have. And, if our office is not able to answer it specifically, then we can forward it to the correct office and they can help you.
Okay, that's great. Aitana, I see your hand is raised. Please go on with your question. We're listening.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. I would like to ask if an ICN student considered Erasmus student in terms of getting an opportunity to live in a dorm.
Oh, if Erasmus students have access to university dormitories. Is
it correct, Aitana?
Is that your question? Sorry, I couldn't hear very well.
Yeah, I just I'm not sure if ICM students and Erasmus students are the same thing.
Oh, the ICM is a international credit mobility is part of the Erasmus program. And normally,
thank you.
Normally the Erasmus students here find their own housing.
Okay, thank you.
Outside of the university dormitories. So either through other students they may know that are also coming to Uni Trento, or through social media, or like websites that advertise rooms for rent, or any of those channels.
Okay, I get it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I hope this was clear. Do anyone else have a question? Doesn't seem so. Okay then, Jonathan, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have to say that you saved us, because we have this time difference clash with our other partner, but on the other hand, we have very long and very informative conversation, and we were able to answer many questions from me and from the students.
Yeah, no, that's why we're here, and thank you for inviting us. And yeah, fortunately, I was able to connect early, and everything was ready.
Yes,
so thank you.
That was brilliant.
That's
okay.
No problem.
Okay then. So we now have like 5 minutes break between the speakers, and Jonathan. So we will be using all of the links you have shared with us, and also we recorded your presentation, so it will be posted to our website. So I hope the students will have access to it without any problems.
Yeah, I hope I answered everyone's question completely. And again, if I missed anything, or if you have further questions, in the next few weeks or months, then please write us at this email address. Okay. international@unitrento.it. And thank you all for participating. And we hope to welcome you here at the University of Trento at some point in the future, and hopefully send our students to HSE. So.
Oh yes. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Daria.
So you can either stay by if you're interested, or finish your participation. It's up to you. Okay. And we'll keep in touch.
Definitely. Yeah, now I have another, I need to eat lunch, and then I have another activity. So unfortunately, yeah. But yeah, we'll be in touch for sure, especially regarding updates for the next semester.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye. So, dear students, in 5 minutes, we will start with our next speaker. The next speaker is our partner in France, Idec Business School. And there will be 2 representatives. One of them will be talking about bachelor studies. The second representative will present the master program. So give us like a few minutes. Also, for those who wanted to, who joined us from the very beginning and wanted to listen the presentation of UCL, University College London. Unfortunately, as I said, there was a time clash, time difference clash with our partners. They unfortunately didn't realize that we have time difference with London. So we rescheduled them for 16:30 today. So in a couple of hours, they will join us as well. And if you are interested in listening to the presentation of UCL, please join us back on 4:30 or 16:40 St. Petersburg time. Okay, so meanwhile, in case you have some questions to our office, to international office in St. Petersburg, you're welcome to ask them, because since we're here waiting for our next speakers, we can answer them, me and my colleagues. Any questions?
Yeah, where could we watch the recording of this conference?
After the recording, after the presentation is over, we will post it on our website. The website is regular. It was in the chat in the very beginning. HSE SPb study abroad. If you were registered for the fair, we can take the mailing out for all the participants with the link to the recording as well. So either of those two variants are available for you. Either check our website or we will send it to you. We will also send it to your email address, which you used for registration.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so few more minutes and our colleagues from Idec will join us. Well, so let's give it just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned, don't drop out. Oh, Inam, hi. Can you hear me, Inam? Okay, dear students, I see our colleagues from Idec Business School are joining us. So any minute soon, we will be able to start this session for Idec Business School. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Laura, Inam,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, Laura, hi.
Hello, how are you? I'm going to try and put on the video. There we go. Hello, everyone.
Hello, it's good to see you.
Nice to see you too. Lovely to meet you all.
Yeah, so I see Inam is also here, but I can't.
Yes.
Oh, she just dropped out, probably. Oh, no, she's here.
She's coming, she's coming. We'll just give her a couple of moments.
Of course, of course. The students are still joining us, so we can start slowly our meeting, our presentation. We will have both categories of students, those who have been nominated for this next academic year to Idec Business School.
Okay.
And those who are interested in this opportunity in the future. So there might be information for both of them and the questions from both of those categories. So, and I will be here. Hello, Inam. We can't hear you, unfortunately. I can see you, but I cannot hear you.
Hello.
Laura, I can hear you, but I think there's something with the sound.
Okay.
Inam.
Are you able to see the presentation at all?
Well, if you share your screen, we will be able to see the presentation. Will you start now, Laura?
I don't know.
Well, as far as I understand, there will be two presentations for bachelor level students and for the master level students, right?
Well, we're going to kind of combine it because as we all work together in the study abroad office, so Inam will present a little bit more on the master side, the Grande École, and I will present more on the undergraduate bachelor side. So we can start. I'm not too sure now. I'm just trying to see where we connect the where we share the screen. Écran partagé. I should already be sharing it, so I'm not sure if you can see it or not.
No, we don't. We don't see it. It's a green button on the very
Yes. Okay.
button on the screen.
So I think it should be this one.
Yes.
Can you see that?
It's loading. Yeah, we can see your screen now.
Okay, well, I can start then if you wish. So hello to everybody. So it's a pleasure to be with you all today. So we're just going to give you a very brief overview of Idec, and so we just then will be available also to take your questions at the end. So we'll just go on to this. So this is Idec Business School. So we are 110 different nationalities. So Idec is very proud of presenting a very multicultural environment. We have a huge professor base, more than 8,600 students overseas, 35% of which are international, more than 90 associations by students. I'm trying to lose this thing, and 46,000 alumni in 125 countries. We have 267 partner universities worldwide. We have different campuses all over the world. So our main campuses are in London, Lille, Singapore, Nice, and Paris. And we also have 4 offices abroad where we have managers who are available for questions and a direct contact. So in Mumbai, in Moscow, New York, and Shanghai. Idec, as you may know, has 3 international accreditations. So one of the rare universities that can actually boast all 3 accreditations worldwide. And in our organization is basically organized in 3 different units. So we have our academic programs in the master and undergraduate level, and then also the executive section and the research and development section. So where you will be more concentrated is in this first section of academic programs. So Idec International BBA, which are mainly undergraduate programs, and then the Idec Grande École, which are the master programs, which are also in master programs and slightly undergraduate as well. But I will let Inam speak to that as well. So on this slide, these are our campuses, our main campuses for exchange students. The Lille campus is the biggest campus. We also have student accommodation on this campus, and we also have the Nice campus, which is a more urban campus in the center of the city, but very close to amenities as well. So there are links on these slides, so you'll be able to click on the links and take a quick tour and see the videos for each campuses that we'll be able to send those to you. Inam, are we able to hear you now for the, no?
I tried to set the settings. Can you hear me now?
We can hear
yes,
you now.
we can hear you.
Yay, perfect.
That's great, Inam. So let me know if you wanted to add anything
Laura,
on these slides. Yes, go for it.
No, that would be it. If you want, you can go on to introduce the BBA program, and then I'll take over to introduce the Grande École Master Program.
Perfect, that works. Okay, well, we apologize for the technical issues in the beginning. We're right with you now. So let's see. International BBA, Idec International BBA. So that is the undergraduate programs. I'll give you a quick overview. The program is actually divided in 4 years. The first, second, third, and fourth year. And some of these, the areas where people can come on exchange, where students can come on exchange, will only be in the second, third, and the first part of the fourth year. On which section will depend on which program students will choose. So, oh, I don't think I'm on the right presentation. Okay, so then these are the study programs that we have. We have tracks that are taught in English and tracks that are taught in French. Obviously, the main program that exchange students are interested in is, of course, the upper undergraduate level international business management track, which is taught in both the campuses in Nice and Lille. And those are taught in both the first semester and the second semester. We also have a second year English track program, which is taught only on the Lille campus in the first and the second semester. The other programs are French taught programs, either in the second or the third year. And those programs do require also a high level of French, and some prerequisites are necessary as well to attend those programs. But that information will also be sent through with the fact sheet that we will be sending to everybody with the final presentation, and which will really give you a better outline of what courses you can expect at Idec and in which languages they are taught. It isn't possible to mix programs in the different years, so you would need to follow one program in one language instruction. So our main international student base will be in the third year, second semester, or the fourth year, the first semester, which is where our upper undergraduate level courses are taught. Okay, I'll pass on to Inam, who will be able to present the Idec part of the presentation.
Okay, I will share my screen, so
yes,
it would be
please.
easier. I think Laura, you should cut your yes. screen sharing so I can share mine, please.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay, just let me know. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. So
okay,
those are again the international BBA programs, and with a better overview of what is taught in each campus. So as you can see in Nice, if you don't mind, Inam, I'll just go through this quickly.
Yeah.
In the fall semester on the Nice campus, you have the upper undergraduate international business track and the fourth sector hospitality event management, which is also taught in English. In Nice, French taught programs are the second year and third year in French. Then in the spring semester, it is only the upper undergraduate international business track and the French taught programs. In the Lille campus, so it's more or less the same, the only difference is that we have two English taught programs, a second year in the fall, and as well as the upper undergraduate international business track. And then the other programs are the same, except for just the English track second year, which is also taught in the spring semester.
All right. So, all right, thank you, Laura.
Thank you,
I'm gonna go through the Grande École Master Program. It's very important to point out that even in the Grande École Master Program, there are undergraduate and upper undergraduate programs, in addition to the graduate programs, which are the specialized MSc. It's a really fine line between the BBA programs and the Grande École programs when it comes to undergraduate level. The only difference is really the structure and the courses provided. So it might be a bit confusing, but then we will guide you through. So please don't worry about this. What just my colleague Laura, what she just introduced is strictly undergraduate and upper undergraduate programs. We will have the same at the Grande École program, in addition to graduate programs, which are the Master of Finance, like the MSc equivalent to the Master 2. And so our programs also are available in both in Lille and Nice campuses. Here, what I was just talking about, in Lille campus, we have what's called the pre-master program, and it's taught both in English and in French. Very important to point out that you can only choose courses from one single program, and here it's the case of 2 different languages. You can only choose either the English track, either the French track. Of course, it's very important also to mention that you should have a good French level to be able to follow courses in French, because you need, just like you need the business English, you need the business French language in order to follow the program. So to give you a brief review of what do we propose in the pre-master program in terms of eligibility. You are eligible to this program starting your second year of bachelor degree. So within your second year, you are eligible to the pre-master program, both English or French. Of course, you should justify, provide the proof that you can speak properly French, or sort of certificate or proficiency exam test. For the Master 1, it is indeed a Master 1 program. However, because the French system is very complicated, we're not gonna go through all the details of the French system. But what we call what you call in the Master 1 program, it is still an upper undergraduate level. So students who did not complete their bachelor degree are indeed eligible to the Master 1 program. However, the condition of eligibility is starting the second year, like when finishing the second year of the bachelor degree. So means if you are currently in your second year, you are not eligible to the Master 1 program. You are eligible to the Master 1 program only when finishing the second year, so when validating minimum of 120 ECTS credits, okay? And of course, our colleagues, coordinators in partner institutions will look into the prerequisites and notify students that they should have a minimum of background when it comes to business management and to financial economics. I will go through it next because it's courses take place in 2 different campuses, and so 2 different tracks. In Lille campus, it's mostly specialized in business management. In Nice, it's mostly specialized in finance. So to continue over Lille campus, we also propose different MSc programs. We have a list of 7 programs suggested. We will be sending you, along with this presentation, a fact sheet where you can download the links of the courses and the course description, so you can see in details all the suggested programs. And here in Nice campus, we propose only 2 programs for exchange, like 2 level, not only 2 programs, 2 level programs, which are the Master 1 Financial Economics. Is still important to point out, upper undergraduate programs, so people validated 2 years of bachelor degree are eligible to this program. However, very important, the prerequisites, because these courses are really narrowed down to financial economics. And then for the MSc programs, Lille or Nice campus, the condition of eligibility is validating or completing the bachelor degree. Even if you had a bachelor degree that took place over 3 years or 4 years or 5 years for some institutions. If you did not complete the bachelor degree, you are not eligible to the MSc program. That's very important. That's a quick overview of the calendar and the procedures. Usually in April, we send the login, the credentials to our partner institutions and the nomination link. So they would inform us officially of your nomination. They send us your name, details, and so on. In May, like currently, we are going over the application files, we are processing them, requiring further documents and so on. End of May, early June, you would receive the acceptance letter. We would have finished the processing of the applications, and early June, hopefully, we will launch the course selection. End of August, early September, the date is to be confirmed because it's different for BBA or for master programs. But mostly it's end of August. We hold an orientation session. Hopefully this year orientation week with activities, integration activities, and so on. And the classes the classes begin end of August, early September as well. So directly after the orientation session. End of December would be the end of the first semester, including the exams. Of course, the exact date are to be communicated later on. Early January until April, May, these are the dates for the spring semester. Of course, procedures would take place earlier, so means in October, November. After you finish the spring semester in April, May, we would publish the grades, and then there's the whole procedure to follow, such as transcripts and the transfer to your home institution and so on. Also important to mention that all these details, you can find them in the fact sheets, respectively, that we will send for master programs and BBA programs. Your contact people, I will be in charge of incoming students, with my great pleasure, of incoming students for Nice campus. My colleague Virginie is in charge of students coming to Lille campus. Here are our email addresses. We take care of everything related to academic matters, so means learning agreements, course selection. We can answer all your questions regarding the credits, contact hours, and so on. The academic policy, attendance, and conditions, and so on. And we do follow up. We do hold also during the orientation session and academic orientation to give you further details about your exchange in the upcoming month. For regarding the study abroad of the BBA department, so there's Laura, and there's also our colleagues Hannah and Marion. Would you like to add anything, Laura, regarding this this part?
Yes, well, it's just to, well, we can just say that Hannah deals with students mainly on the Nice campus, and Marion students in the Lille campus, but we all work together, and we do the certificates, and we are basically your link between you and the home university and your course choices for all the undergraduate programs.
Now, that's a very important part because people need further information regarding the practical side of their exchange. It's very important, of course, to validate the courses and have all the insights and the information in this regard. However, very important also everything related to the visa procedure, to accommodation, immigration formalities, and so on. There is a department specialized for all this kind of questions and issues and cases. It's the International Students Office, same thing. In Lille campus and in Nice campus, there are people who take care of these procedures. We mentioned briefly the names and positions. So mainly in Lille campus, there's Céline, there's Kathleen. Here's their contact email. You can contact them in case they had, students had any questions. Also here in the where it's mentioned International Students Office, actually there's the link that leads to the website of the International Students Office. And in France, we love abbreviations, so we call them the ISO. So it's the ISO team. They will guide you through the whole procedure before your arrival to campus, until your arrival, and afterwards they will assist you through the whole semester to answer your questions and assist you through daily formalities, let's say, and through the whole year. They will organize different events as well, starting the integration activities to different activities throughout the semester. Hopefully we'll be able to have a normal year this year. We're really optimistic. We are planning for many events, so that we hope we will be able to go through it. And here are my colleagues from Nice campus as well. So it's the same website with all the information in it. And here's the contact email. Students who have questions regarding visa accommodation and different formalities can, starting now, ask their questions to the International Students Office, and they will be happy to assist all of their students. And for Nice campus, there's Palamon, Isabelle, and Emily. That was it for EDHEC. I don't know, Laura, do you have anything you would like to add to this section?
No, not at all. Thanks, Inam.
All right. Welcome. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them.
Okay, dear students, I know there are some of you have been already nominated, so please don't hesitate and ask any questions you might have, or if you're just interested in the in studying in EDHEC in the future. Also, it's time to speak up. You can either raise your hand or just speak up. No question. Or you can also write your question in the chat. If it's not convenient for you to talk, put your question in the chat. We will answer it as well. Anyone? Okay. Okay, then if you don't mind, we have several minutes left for your time slot. There are some questions which are normally asked by the students who are ready to go for exchange. Some practical questions. If you don't mind, I'll just, since they're very general, I'll ask them, and it will be also helpful for the students to learn out. Well, first of all, what would be the average spending if you live in Nice or in Lille for regular incoming student in terms of extra, in terms of spending, except for the tuition fee, because when students come as exchange student, they don't pay the tuition fee. It's mostly room and board.
The thing is that it's a bit difficult to answer such questions because we don't really deal with the practical side. However, we have some insights, and I believe, as far as I remember, a student needs to have to justify a minimum of 700 euros, I think, revenue per month, because, okay, so it's very important. The mention of the accommodation. There are students' residences. I can speak for Nice campus at least because I am located in Nice. There are cheap student residences with fees up to 300, 350 euros per month. And students can also choose to share flats with their student mates. So they would pay around 450, 500, and there are students who choose to have to rent studios. So here it would be a bit more expensive, so means 600, 650 only for accommodation. Nice, let's say France is a bit an expensive country. Nice a bit more expensive than Lille. So we recommend students to I don't know, maybe to prevent such as minimum 300 euros per year, let's say all included apart from accommodation. So if you do the average cost of accommodation, let's say 400 and 300 as personal expenses, yeah, would be around 700 per month.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good to know.
Okay. For that, students can also visit the International Student Office website.
Yeah.
which is in the link will be available in the fact sheet as well as the presentation, and they have a good breakdown on what can be expected with regards to housing and how to prepare with regards to budgets as well.
Okay, it's good to know. And as Inam mentioned, the accommodation, as far as I understand, it's not guaranteed the place in the residence, but
No.
students may apply for it.
Yeah, actually the International Students Office do contact exchange students. I think that they have already done it last week. It was done. So they share information, different information, including accommodation. The accommodation info they shared, as far as I can tell, they do suggest students spots and places in students' residences and in private flats. So they have a whole platform dedicated to accommodation where students can book their accommodation. Usually they get to have booked residences or flats, because now it's only May, so we're good in timing, but it's really hard to get an accommodation, for instance, in June, July, or to book even an accommodation in June, July, especially in Nice. So the sooner the better. Of course, they should see if the fees are refundable or not, since the situation is quite uncertain until now, unfortunately. We do recommend students to pay attention to this detail, and in case they needed to book accommodation, they should just pay attention to the conditions of refund and so on.
Okay, that's also very practical information. All right. Dear students, any more questions to our wonderful representatives of Idec School of Business? Well, that makes us think that everything was clear.
We hope so.
Hopefully.
Okay, then. So again, just to remind, we have the presentation recorded, so we will put it online on our website. If some of the students have missed something from it, please keep in mind that you will have a chance to see it online.
Okay, we will probably send you the final presentation as well,
That would be very
and the fact sheets as well for students' information, so that they can get back to it. And of course, we're available for questions if need be as well.
That will be very, very appreciated from our side.
Okay.
Okay, then. So it's time to proceed with another university. I see that Michael has already joined us.
Okay, bye-bye everyone then.
Thank you so much for your presence.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Nice to learn.
Bye.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
Bye-bye.
to meet you. Bye.
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 Hi, Daria. Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Michael. Yeah, nice to see you. Yeah, I'm glad that we managed to make it. So now, as I mentioned in one of the first emails, the study abroad fair is in the rolling mode, so students come and go. So they know the program, they know how the speakers are scheduled. So at 3 o'clock in St. Petersburg, which is now, they will be joining us very shortly. I would like to say that we have our meeting, our study abroad fair recorded, and we will then put it on our website for those for those students who didn't have a chance to join it in person. So now we are ready to proceed with a presentation of University of Hertfordshire. And we have quite many actually students who were either nominated to this university for the next semester, or those who are curious to go to this university in the future. So they might be questioned from both groups of students. And yeah, I see that more students are joining us. So I think we can start within a minute or so. Yeah.
Just tell me when you would like me to begin and I will start. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it was in the beginning, we had a little confusion with our partners because we have partners from all over the world and they were a little bit confused with the time difference. But now I think everyone is aware about the exact time. So hopefully students didn't miss much.
I think it's because summertime has moved in, hasn't it? So
both this and also that we still have a difference if time zones. In Russia we have 8 time zones, if I'm not mistaken, and there are different time zones in Europe as well. So yeah, some of our partners got a little bit confused, but it's okay, it's manageable. Okay, so I think we shall start in order not to lose our time. Michael, I will appreciate if you...
I will share my screen with you.
Great. Yes, we can see it now.
You can see that from the beginning, yes?
Yes, just perfectly.
Okay. Well, good afternoon. My name is Michael Rosier. I'm Associate Dean for International Education and Accreditation within the business school. So I look after the study abroad programs for the school. So what I wanted to talk today is a little bit about Hertfordshire, about the university generally, and then a bit about the business school. Hopefully answer many of your questions from that, but in addition, after that, to take some questions for you. And maybe you can stop me if you have any questions on the way through. I think you'd have to shout out or something because I can't see everybody because my screen is occupied by the slide. But anyway, we'll set off and hopefully I can answer most of your questions during the presentation. So to start with, Hertfordshire is a public university. We were founded in 1952 and we started off as an aeronautical college. Hatfield, where we're located, was a centre of the aeronautical industry, and the whole county where we are is actually very heavily into aerospace at the moment. We became a university in 1992. We have 8 schools of study, and one of those, of course, is the business school, where you will be. We have 24,600 students worldwide. We have students actually in Moscow. We have students in Malaysia. We have students in Canada. We have 18,000 students on our campuses in Hatfield. So the other students are actually taking our programs elsewhere, and many of them are international in some of the countries I've just mentioned. So if you come to us, there's 18,000 students, a very international campus, and we have over 100 different nationalities represented on the campus. The picture on the right-hand side is a picture of the main campus. We have 2 co-located campuses in Hatfield, and if you walk between them, there is a shopping complex which you can go through on the way. This is the main campus. If you can see my pointer, these are the academic buildings. The buildings at the top here are the hall's residence, where you will live. And down here, in the bottom right-hand corner, is the entertainments complex. And I'll say a little bit more about that. That's where there are sort of bars, restaurants, and there's an auditorium for gigs and things. It's really quite a good thing to have within the university. I'll say more about the other facilities as we go along. There is a sports centre up here on this campus, but the main sports centre is actually on the other campus, which is the de Havilland campus. So in terms of location, we are actually a campus university, so everything is on the campus. As I said, there are 2 co-located campuses in Hatfield, which is a small town of 39,000 inhabitants. The de Havilland campus is the campus where business is located, and that's a more modern campus. It was totally built in 2003, and it includes academic buildings and halls of residence as well, and also the sports village, which I'll talk a bit about later. The main campus you've already seen, and as I said, the two are about a kilometre apart, and there is a shopping sort of mile in between. We're about 32 kilometres north of London, and to get into London, it's around 25 minutes by train, and there are around 5 trains an hour normally. Obviously, at the moment with COVID, it's a little bit different, but when things go back to normal, some are fast, some are slower, but it's very easy to get in and out of London, and you can be into the centre of London very easily within sort of 45 minutes from door to door. St Albans is a town nearby. It's a Roman Saxon city. It's over 2,000 years old. Students go there for entertainment, for bars and restaurants, as well as staying in Hatfield. I say it's very close by. It's only about 2 or 3 kilometres away, and it's a really nice place to be. And the picture on the right-hand side is St Albans Cathedral, and I put that there because when you graduate from Hertfordshire with your degree, we actually hold the degree ceremonies actually within the cathedral in St Albans. So in terms of entertainment and things, you can either stay in Hatfield or St Albans, or of course you can very easily go into London. In terms of airports, Luton and Stansted airports are very nearby, and you can fly to other parts of Europe and to within the UK. I think from Russia, you probably can't come into either of those at the moment. You would have to come into Heathrow or perhaps Gatwick, but I'll show you a map later to show you where those are. And obviously we have Eurostar nearby as well. If you go by train to central London, you go to King's Cross station, and if you cross over the road to St Pancras, you can get a Eurostar train to Paris and Brussels and other parts of Europe. So I think in terms of location, it's very well located. It's a small town in the country, but it's very close to London, and you can get into London very easily, and also to other parts of the UK and other parts of Europe. So this is the map to show you where we are. So we're here in the middle of Hertfordshire, which is a county, or I guess the equivalent of maybe a province in sort of Russian speak, as it were. The two airports, Luton Airport and Stansted, are very close by. But you can see down here Heathrow, and that's only about 45 minutes by car from our campuses. You can go by train through London to Gatwick, which is down here, and that's about 60 minutes. So actually even fairly convenient for both of those airports. And as I say, it's 22 to 25 minutes by train to King's Cross in the centre of London. So that's just to give you some idea where we are within the UK. Now, the university has a number of schools of study, and business is one of those, and it's actually one of the largest schools of study. But we have other subjects. We have creative arts, we have education, we have engineering and technology, which includes computer science and astronomy and mathematics and physics. We have health and social work, we have humanities, and that includes languages. And we do offer languages within our programs. With us, you can take French, German, Spanish, Mandarin, or Japanese, and those would be open to you if you came to us. We have a law school, and we have a School of Life and Medical Sciences as well. So those are sort of various areas within the university. Most of these schools are on the College Lane campus, but on the de Havilland campus, where business is located, you will also find education, law, and humanities. In terms of facilities, I've already said that we have the two co-located campuses. We have 4,800 on-campus residential places. There are various different types of accommodation that you can have. Virtually all of them are single room, but there are some double rooms as well. And you do have a choice of whether you want, which campus you want to live on. And we would expect, as an exchange student, you would be living on campus with us. As I say, there is more than enough accommodation there for people who want to live on campus. And although we don't guarantee it to exchange students, they get one of the first shots to accommodation. And in fact, up till now, we've always been able to accommodate all of the exchange students on the 2 campuses. We have learning resource centres on both campuses. These are the sort of library and computer centres that we offer to our students. They're open 24 hours a day and at weekends as well. And you'll probably find students in there at all hours of the day, not only during the day, but also during the night. We have the entertainment complex, it's called the Forum, which I've already mentioned, where we have bars and restaurants, and we have a sort of an auditorium there for further entertainment. And we have a students' union, which consists of sports clubs and societies which you can join. We have a sports village on the de Havilland campus, if you want to keep fit, if you want to climb a wall, swim, play tennis or whatever, that's all available, open to you. We have an enterprise hub on the de Havilland campus. Our university was previously a polytechnic, so there's a very strong history of linking with business, and the enterprise hub is part of that, and it's for incubators where people can start up enterprises and linked with the university. And as I said, that's actually on the de Havilland campus with the business school. The picture on the right is the mezzanine floor on the de Havilland campus. As I said, that campus was built completely in 2003. In terms of the study abroad program, we offer all subjects at bachelor's level, and you can study an interdisciplinary or in an interdisciplinary approach or in a single subject area. So for example, you could decide to study just in business, or if you wanted to take modules from outside of business, that's possible too. However, under the Erasmus program, that is a little bit limited. So you have to do at least half of your subjects within the business area. But obviously the subjects you take at Hertfordshire need to be agreed with your home university, and that's obviously negotiated. And you'll probably be taking mostly business subjects when you're with us. But it is possible to take subjects from other discipline areas within the program. We offer study abroad exchange for 1 or 2 semesters. In fact, most of our students go out for 2 semesters, and most of the students that come in to Hertfordshire are for 1 semester. And that explains the 2 figures below, that we have around 500 students that come in annually to Hertfordshire, and we have around 200 to 250 students going out. Obviously, the last year has been a little bit different because of COVID, but we expect that to return to normal next year in 2021, 2022. We have 180 exchange partners from 43 different countries. So actually we have a very good mix of exchange students that you will meet and be working with on campus. None of the modules within Hertfordshire are purely for exchange students. You will always be mixed with other students in all the modules that you take, and there will be local UK students, but obviously we also include international students and students from other parts of Europe. We are still part of the Erasmus program for another 2 years. You'll probably be aware that the UK has left the European Union, but we are still part of Erasmus for 2 years, and the funding that you have coming to join us at Hertfordshire is under the Erasmus program. And the picture on the right is the street at de Havilland. We have the flags of all the nationalities and places where our students come from. As I say, we have over 100 different countries represented on the campus, and we change the flags annually. There'll be a Russian flag somewhere there, but you probably can't see it because it'll be R, so it'll be more towards us, and you can't see it within the picture. Now, the business school itself has around 4,500 students. As I said, it's on the de Havilland campus, and the picture on the right is the de Havilland campus. The street where all the flags are is this bit here, and this building here is an auditorium where we for theatre arts events, and it can accommodate 450 people seating, and we use that also sometimes for lectures, but it's mainly for social events both within the university and outside of the university. The business school offers generalist and specialist degree programs at bachelor's level. We cover most subject areas within business, either generalist business degrees or specialist areas like marketing, accounting, human resource management, project management, just to name but a few. We offer master's degrees and we also offer doctoral degrees as well. The business school is very international. We also have 2 international accreditations. We have the EFMD Bachelor, and we are in the we have that one, and we're in the process of getting the AACSB accreditation. So we have one, and we're in the process of the second. We have 105 exchange partners linking into the business school, and we have a Centre for Academic Skills Enhancement within the school. This is a place where you can go if you need any help with anything related to your academic study. It could be statistical analysis, it could be writing reports, or sort of writing things in the style that's appropriate for a UK sort of style of education, for example, in essays and things. Anything at all, you can go there individually, and you can have supporting groups or individually. Also, there's a lot of stuff online, but it is open, through the week, and it's really quite a resource to help you in your sort of teaching and learning with us. Now, the subject areas, as I said, we cover most: accounting and finance, business analysis, statistics, generalist courses in business management. We have economics, HRM, information systems, marketing, strategic management, and tourism event management. These actually are the subject groups within the business school. So we can take modules from anywhere within that, subject, of course, to prior study at St. Petersburg. So, for example, if you wanted to do a second-year module or a third-year module in marketing, we would need to know that you've studied marketing previously to the right level in order to take that module. But that's all discussed when you join us and before you join us, in terms of the learning agreement that we have with you, and is signed off both by you, St. Petersburg, and by Hertfordshire. And to the right here, you have the halls of residence at the de Havilland campus. And again, it may well be that you want to live on de Havilland, but you can also live on College Lane. And there are different types of residential places on both campuses. In terms of support, in addition to the case, which I've just talked about, there is an Erasmus and CATS tutor. CATS is our Accredited Accumulation Transfer scheme. So we'll have an Erasmus tutor who's actually looking after you. So the Erasmus tutor looks after the EU students, and from that point of view, that includes the Russian students. The CATS program is for students from outside of Europe, but we have a tutor who's dedicated to looking after both within the business school. The university has a study abroad team, and if you are already sort of in the process of coming to Hertfordshire, the study abroad team will be the first point of contact that you will have. So they actually manage the admissions process when you join Hertfordshire, and as soon as you join us, you then have a dedicated study abroad tutor within the school, and the school administration takes over and looks after you from that point of view. We do have English language support within the school. We would expect probably that you're fluent in English before you come, and I believe you would not be recommended unless you were so. But if you do need support, then it is available within the school. It is possible to take a diagnostic test when you arrive, and we highly recommend it, and that will show you whether you need no support, some support, or greater support. But that is there for you, and it runs through the semester and is free. We also have a buddy system, and when you apply to us, we will offer you to have a buddy with us, and that would be a local student, and that will start before you arrive, and the buddy will be with you for the first few weeks at Hertfordshire. And as an exchange student at Hertfordshire, you have access to all of our student support services, and that includes the medical centre at the university. That, I think, covers all things I would like to talk about. Obviously, I'm very happy to answer questions. You have there the website address and you have the email address for the Study Abroad office. The picture that you see before you there is the Haviland campus from another angle. This building on the left here, this little round thing, is a control tower, at the top of a control tower for an airport. And that's because where the campus is built, it was actually an airport, a private, a military airport up until quite recently. When the British Aerospace Systems left and the military operations sort of moved, then it became a business park and also became open to part of the camp, part of the airport being for educational purposes, and that is where the university is located. So this is the top of the control tower that used to exist. This here is the library and computer center for the business school. This is the enterprise hub over here, and this is a building, a teaching building. It also has a law court within it because we teach law, and we actually have a purpose-built law court where law students can practice. And if you come to us, of course, you may well be taking certain law modules within your course. Anyway, Daria, I will stop there and take any questions, and I will stop sharing.
Okay, thank you so much, Michael. It was very useful and very helpful information. I think now we have 8 minutes to be exact for the questions. So I address to the dear students. If you have any question regarding your future studies or your potential studies, or your close in time and nomination, please do not hesitate. Ask your question now, or you can type them in the chat. We will be glad to answer them. Dear students, no questions? Okay.
I have one question.
It's Vera, is it?
The question is, are there only bachelor's degrees, programs, and there are no masters? Or could you?
What for exchange, you mean? Do you? Yes.
In exchange program, could we choose a master degree?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Most students that come on exchange are bachelor's students, but it is possible to take modules at master's level within the exchange. Obviously, you would need to talk that through with your staff, your tutors at St. Petersburg, but that is possible, yes.
And the question more, just could you tell me some details maybe about the program of economics and what kind of issues students usually analyze and study?
Okay.
Maybe
we have
it's a very specific question.
Yeah. Well, we have 2 streams in the economics program, like a more pure economic stream, and then there's a stream that is more business focused. So it would, I mean, it's a bachelor's degree in economics. There isn't a master's level degree in economics, Vera, but there is the bachelor's level, and it's I suppose a general, bachelor's degree in economics. It covers micro and macroeconomics. It has sort of specialist areas as you go through, and we can send you the program structure if that would be helpful, so you can see what is there. But it is all at bachelor's level. Economics is one of the areas, and perhaps probably the only area within the school that we don't offer a master's program at the moment.
And what about researchers?
Yeah, well, we have, we do have doctoral students in research, and obviously the teaching staff are very highly research oriented, particularly in economics. So
And among students?
Well, amongst the students, you could, within the final year of your undergraduate degree at Hertfordshire, you can do a project or a dissertation, and that could be in any area of economics. Obviously, it would be linked to one of the research teachers in terms of their subject area.
I see, thank you.
But if it would be helpful to, we could actually provide you with the program specification for the degree, and then you could see what subjects are included within it, if that would be helpful.
It might be, I think.
Okay, I'll sort of send that to Daria so she can she can forward it to you, Vera.
Yes, Vera, please just write to our general email address, and I will forward you all the information that I will receive from Michael.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Oh, there is a question in the chat. Is it really possible to get mobility under the law program? At the beginning of our studies, we were told that foreign universities do not accept students from Russia for the law program.
That's a very good question. The answer is yes. Our law degree is, we have law degrees at bachelor's and master's level. There are some law modules within the business programs that would be automatically accessible to you as a student coming to the business school. It may well be possible to take some modules within the law program as well. There would be very much depend on your level of knowledge of law and particularly of common law. But yes, that is possible. And it may also be possible to take them at master's level, actually, because there they offer a number of specialist streams. And it could be that you could pick up a module in, a, sort of, for example, in international law at that level. So the answer is yes, but we would need to talk about it.
I just wanted to add to this question that probably Daria is interested in the opportunity in general, and not only the University of Hertfordshire exchange opportunity. In this regard, we also have more programs available for students of law department now. We have signed several agreements with different universities located in Europe or in other countries. So yeah, the general answer will be yes. It is possible to go for mobility if you're a law faculty student.
I think the one of the things I would need to say, Dara, is, as you probably know, that under Erasmus, they allow you to have 50% of your modules outside of the field of study with which the the exchange agreement specifies. So it would be possible maybe to do, our students do 4 modules per semester. So it'd be possible to do half of those modules in law, possibly. Yeah. When does the second semester begin and end? Yeah, okay. It begins at the end of January and it finishes at the end of May. Yeah.
Does this include exam period?
Yes, yeah. Obviously, this year, there'll be no physical exams at the university, but normally most of May is an exam period, yes. So the teaching finishes at the end of April or in the first week of May. And also, as we say, within the second semester, there's a 2-week break for Easter, which sadly is a different Easter to you, but
okay, good to know.
We're at a different time, as it were. Yeah.
I see. Okay, then. So
Hi, Daria, are you frozen?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now. Yes.
Oh, it's something. I'm sorry, it's just got frozen. So what I was saying, that we are, if there are no more questions to Michael, are there? I don't see any. Then we can proceed with, first of all, of course, Michael, for your for your presentation. Thank you so much. I hope it was useful. And for those who didn't manage to listen to all the presentation, we will put the recording on our website.
And I will send you the presentation as well. And if students have any questions, you have the email address at the end of the presentation where they can ask questions.
Okay, that's great. That will be fantastic. We will also disseminate this presentation to all the participants.
Well, very nice talking to you all, and hopefully we'll see some of you here at Hertfordshire next year, or maybe the year after.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Yes, bye-bye. Okay, so I think we can start with another university now. Our colleague from Zagreb School of Management, Una, is here. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
So, yeah, there is a little technical problem with my computer, but I'm here on my phone, so it doesn't really matter. So Una will be able to tell us more about Zagreb School of Management. So here are the students from two categories, those who are nominated for Zagreb School of Management for the next semester, and those who are just curious about the future opportunities. So I give a floor to Una, please.
Thank you very much. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so let me just first briefly introduce myself. My name is Una, and I'm in charge of all the incoming international students at the Zagreb School of Economics and Management, and it is my honor and my pleasure to present today at the Higher School of Economics, St. Petersburg. So in this presentation, I will talk a little bit about Zscm, about Zagreb and Croatia, our study programs, our campus activities for students that we organize, traveling. I will answer the question, do you need a visa to come to Croatia, accommodation, living costs, and I will introduce you to the international office team. So Zscm was founded in 2002 by Mr. Juronjaro, our former dean, and Mr. Joseph Bombels, the professor at the John Carroll University in the United States, which means that Zscm is basically modeled after the American educational system. So in 2004, Zscm was for the first time accredited by the prestigious AACSB accreditation. In 2008, EdUniversal for the first time proclaimed Zscm as the best business school in Croatia. In 2015, we received 4 Palms of Excellence by EdUniversal. In 2020, QS ranked Zscm's MBA specializations amongst the best 200 in the world. I'm sorry, I just saw the chat option. And in 2020, so last semester, we moved to a new campus. So here on this map, you can see where we are located. Sorry. So Croatia is located in southeastern Europe on the Adriatic Sea, right across Italy. It's a member state of the EU. It has about 4 million citizens. It's famous for the city of Dubrovnik, which was one of the main filming locations of Game of Thrones, the popular TV series, which you probably already know. But what you maybe didn't know is that it was also a filming location for the film Robin Hood, which was produced by Leonardo DiCaprio, and Star Wars Episode 2, The Last Jedi. Then it's also famous for the Plitvice Lakes National Park, the coast and more than 1,000 islets. For football, it won the second place in the World Cup in 2018. It's famous for festivals, so we have an Ultra Europe festival, very popular in summer, and during the winter time, Zagreb is has a very famous Christmas market, which was 3 times awarded as the best in Europe. Then also Croatia is very popular for the coffee culture. When you come to Croatia, you will see there are many coffee bars around, and the people like to spend time in them and socialize with their friends. Zagreb has about 800,000 citizens. The transportation that we use are mostly trams, buses, and Uber is very common. We don't have an underground. There are many art and cultural events in the city, and it's a very safe city. It's actually announced the 3rd best country in the world in 2020 by the Times and Sunday Times, based on how we handled the COVID crisis and the general safety of the country. So the mission of Zscm is to transfer values, knowledge, and skills that students need for long-term success in a globalized business world, undergoing constant technological and market transformations, which we can actually witness now during the COVID pandemic. So at Zscm, we have 3 levels of studying. We have 2 bachelor programs completely held in the English language. They last 4 years, and they can have 240 ECTS credits. Then we have 10 MBA programs held in English language. They last 1 year, and they have 60 ECTS. And we also have a DBA program held in collaboration with Sheffield Hallam University in the UK, and it lasts 4 years. So one of the bachelor programs held in English is Economics and Management. And here you can take courses in the fields of finance, accounting, marketing, and management. The second bachelor program held in English is Business Mathematics and Economics. And here you can take courses in the fields of quantitative mathematics, business economics, and information technology. So here are the 10 MBA programs that we offer. As you can see, we offer marketing, management, human resource, finance and banking, supply chain, tourism. We have also a brand new MBA program. It's called Global Executive, which is held in Zagreb, in H Farm, which is a campus next to Venice, in Luxembourg, and with a field trip to Singapore. So it's a very diverse program, developed especially for working professionals with more than 5 years of working experience. So within our MBA program, we also have a double degree options. So we have double degree partnerships with some of the most prestigious universities in Europe and in the world, such as KEJ Business School in France, Tilburg University in the Netherlands, East China University in China, and many more. So if you want to come to an exchange at Zscm, you can come for a semester or for a year. Like I said, we have about 150 partner universities worldwide, and we receive every semester, well, normally from 100 to 150 students from around the world. Now, because of the COVID pandemic, we received a little bit less, but still, nevertheless, this semester we had 54 international students studying at our campus. So to come to Zscm, you need to have minimum GPA 3.5 out of 5. In case you do not have a GPA 3.5, you can also come to Zscm as a free mover student, which means that you will have to pay the tuition fee, but you will receive a 50% discount as a student from our partner university. We also have short programs. One of the most popular short program is the International Summer School, which is held in June and July. It's held in Zagreb, which is the capital, and Zadar, which is a city on the Croatian coast. And as a part of this program, we also organize field trips to Plitvice Lakes, Kornati Islands, and we also have a very rich social program. Then we have another short program. It's called Leadership in Croatian Winterland, which is held in the winter, and Cross-Cultural Negotiations, which is held usually in May. So Zscm in numbers. Well, Zscm is a rather small faculty. We have about 1,000 students, 120 professors, 20 administrative staff. However, 83% of Zscm faculty hold a PhD. We are proclaimed the 31st most diverse school globally in terms of gender equality and the percentage of international staff. And 8% of Zscm MBA alumni start their own business, which is above average because the average is 5%. And 35% of our students are international. So how do we study? We study by using case studies, computer simulations, group projects, class presentations. We have international guest professors from Germany, Netherlands, USA, and so on. And we also use e-learning methods such as Zoom, Loom, and Lumen, which is our e-learning platform. So studying at Zscm is very practically oriented and we are in close contact with the business community. We also have a career center that helps our students find a job or internship in Croatia, but also abroad. And in case our students decide to go for an internship in one of the European countries, they can also get Erasmus Plus financial support. 94% of our students get employed within a year after graduation. So here are some of the companies in which our alumni work. And as I mentioned in the first slide, we moved to a new campus last semester, and this is how our new campus looks like. It is located in a modern building. We have a modernly equipped interactive classrooms, and this here is a living room. This is a place where students can study or hang out. So here I would like to explain a little bit where Zscm is located on the map. So Zscm is located here, and here is the main square. So all of this here is basically the city center. Zscm is 15 minutes away from the main square by tram. It's surrounded by 2 hospitals and a health center. It has a big grocery store nearby. In front of the building is a very nice cafe. We have a gym inside of the building, a couple of restaurants around, and next to the campus is a big brewery. So we at International Office, we organize many activities for our international students. We have a buddy program, which means that each international student is assigned a buddy, which helps them integrate into Croatian society and also adjust to our school system. We organize field trips. At the beginning of each semester, we organize, normally we organize a 2-day trip to Plitvice Lakes and one of the cities on the coast, such as Zadar or Split. Right now, because of COVID, we organize only 1-day trips to Plitvice Lakes. And we also organize many social activities for our international students, usually once per week. Actually, this semester, we also managed to organize activities. Despite the COVID and all the restrictions, we organize activities on the fresh air so that we don't risk students' health. And for example, this semester we went skiing. We organized a treasure hunt, as you can see on this picture here, where students had to search for some interesting locations in the city. We also went hiking and so on. So here you can see some of the pictures of our international students. So if you like to travel, We like to say that Zagreb is the perfect location for traveling because it's located only 2 hours away by flight from some of the most popular European destinations. For example, it's only 2 hours away from Paris, 2.5 hours away from London. It's 3 hours away from Vienna by a car, and so on. Of course, at this situation right now, it's not so good to travel, but generally the location of Zagreb is very good for traveling. So what do students like about Zscm? They really like the international atmosphere. The professors are more like mentors, the friendly environment, and because we are so small, the students are not just a number for us. We know everybody by their first name, and they also appreciate the activities that we organize for them. Do you need a visa to study in Croatia? Well, yes, citizens of Russia, they need a visa to study, to visit Croatia, but usually there are no problems, and they can receive a visa without any complications. At Zscm, we don't have a student dorm. Our students are accommodated in private apartments, and we are partnered with 2 housing agencies that help our students find the right accommodation. These 2 agencies are Home in Zagreb and Grab a Home. So if you are nominated or if you apply to study at Zscm, I will share this information with you. So here you can see the approximate living costs. It's how much our students spend per month. And as you can see, they spend in total from 600 to 1,000 euros monthly. And here is the international office team, Mr. Javier Aguayo, who is the head of the international office, myself, and my colleague, Amal Mali, who is the Erasmus Plus coordinator. And here is one quote from one of our students from Russia. And he says that Zscm was recommended to him by his friends and teachers. He had a very high expectations, and he has to admit that the school met his expectations and even overcame it. The university provided him with help from teachers, support from the staff and fellow students, and he would definitely recommend to study here. So you can follow Zscm on social media. We are active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. You can ask me now, or also you can send me an email at ubarkovi@zscm.hr. And thank you very much for your attention.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Una. It was very, very interesting presentation. A lot of beautiful pictures, I have to say.
Thank you so much.
Croatia is indeed a very beautiful country. Okay, so dear students, are there any questions from your side? I will be very glad to answer them. Probably my expertise will be needed, or Una will be also answering the questions regarding Zscm. No questions?
No one?
That's curious. I know that they will be coming later. But,
Yeah.
but in any case, so we have recorded the presentation. We will put the whole recording of the study abroad fair on our website. In case one of you or some of your fellows have missed it. Meanwhile, I just wanted to ask the question, which is always, well, quite often is asked by our students. The question is whether, what is the policy for students who wish to, who face the situation where they come to host university, to Zagreb School of Management, and they realize that they can't take this or that course. Is it possible to change learning agreement upon arrival, and how does it work?
Yes, of course. So once the semester starts, our students have 2 weeks time to test the courses and to see if they like the course, if that's what they expected or what they need for from their universities, and they can then change the courses. So within this 2 week period, and they can also then change the learning agreement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very well. So, and is there a maximum of ECTS workload per semester?
Yes, the maximum number of ECTS is 30.
30. And do you have a minimum?
We don't have a minimum. No.
We do. Actually,
You
just for the students. I mean, I'm talking to the students, so they just so they know, because they can go just for a couple of credits, unfortunately.
Yeah, of course, I understand.
For sure. Okay. And speaking of the current very uncertain world situation due to pandemic, I know that it's very hard to tell right now in late May, but what is your current policy regarding the upcoming semester? Do you plan to work in a hybrid mode, or you plan to work in mostly online or mostly offline mode?
Yeah, so we plan to have a hybrid mode, also just as we had this semester. So hybrid mode means that 1 week is held online, 1 week is held offline.
Oh, week by week, okay.
Yeah, but oftentimes our professors also put the links online, so students can often choose whether they want to follow the classes online or in campus. However, we don't have an official virtual exchange. Yeah, so it's required for them to come to the campus. Yeah, I mean to Croatia.
I see.
And then they study in a hybrid mode. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to know, because you never know whether it's going to be possible to manage your travel.
Yeah, I understand. I would just like to also say that currently we don't have a lockdown or a curfew in Croatia, so everything is, well, most of the things are open, not everything. So it's possible to also travel inside Croatia and just mostly live normally. Yeah, compared to some other countries. Yeah,
that's right. Pretty much the same thing is in Russia, because the limitations were released, most of the limitations, but still people wear masks in the universities. And as for the students, we have the opportunity for the students to study online if they can't come to Russia in person. So I think pretty much the same will be for the spring semester as well.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, we do hope that the situation will not get worse.
Yeah, we hope to. So maybe I would just also like to mention that when they would travel to Croatia, they need to provide a negative PCR test, which is not older than 48 hours from taking the swab to crossing the borderline. Yeah. Or if they have taken a vaccination, they need to have a certificate of vaccination.
Does it have to be some specific vaccination or any? Any kind, because in different countries they have different types of vaccination. Like
I think there are no restrictions to. Yeah.
Okay, it's good to know. Just one PCR test will be enough, because in Russia it has to be 2.
No, I think just one is enough. Also, an RAT test is like an antigen test.
What is that?
So, for example, for people who have had corona in the past, they have the
it's for the chest, the lung test, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, we do have that.
Possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Great. So, more questions from students? No questions?
That's okay.
All right. That's okay. Yeah, I know that your presentation was indeed very informative. I think it was clear. How is it in Zagreb? How is it to study in Zagreb? Okay, then. So I think we can thank you right now and let you go. Thank you for your time and your attention. And yeah, thank you. It was very nice to see you online and listen to your presentation.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. Bye.
Bye. So, dear students, we will be waiting for the next. We will be waiting for the next speaker. The next speaker is representing IESEG Business School, which is in France, Elena Delors. Oh, I see Elena joining us.
Hello.
Hello, Elena. Nice to see you. Just perfect timing. We have just finished our session with the previous speaker. Let's give another 3 or 4 minutes for the students to join us because they are aware about the program and they know that you will be starting at 4 o'clock. We will be having 2 types of students joining us today. Our students who have been nominated for the next semester to IESEG Business School, and those who are looking for different options and just learning what is the information from the different universities. So yeah, there might be questions from both side of view.
Okay, no problem. Just do you want me to hold the meeting in Russian or in English?
At the moment, I think is there someone who do not speak English? Do not speak Russian, I'm sorry. Ага, хорошо. Тогда мы, наверное, пока что... Потому что у нас были иностранные студенты, вот сейчас только что отсоединился один из наших иностранных студентов, но если сейчас я вижу, судя, по крайней мере, по именам участников, у нас здесь те ребята, кто говорит по-русски, и, к счастью, Елена у нас тоже говорит по-русски, нам очень повезло, поэтому мы сегодня сможем задавать вопросы на русском языке, может быть, это будет удобнее.
Хорошо, вам удобнее. Моя презентация на английском, потому что как бы она стандартная. Ну, я буду объяснять на русском, и если тогда вам что-то непонятно, как хотите, можем на русском, на английском. Если кто-то уже говорит на французском, уже готовится приехать, да. И очень рада видеть вас, Дарья, и всех остальных. Я посещала ваш университет, это было в мае, 2 года назад.
Партнерской неделе, да, я помню.
Партнерской неделе. Очень понравилось, мы активно тоже рекламируем, так сказать, ваш университет среди наших студентов. И мы довольно много вам отправляем.
Это правда, это здорово. Да, сейчас ввиду пандемии и коронавирусных ограничений мы все мероприятия практически проводим в режиме онлайн. Но тем не менее информация полезна, даже если это не в очном режиме, поэтому подстраиваемся под реалии. Елена, и уважаемые студенты, я должна сказать, что мне нужно сейчас переключаться на другую встречу, но с нами остается моя коллега Дарья Саночкина, она также здесь. Она будет модерировать нашу встречу с оставшееся время. Поэтому, если какие-то будут технические вопросы или вопросы, касаемые обучения с точки зрения исходящего студента, то, уважаемые студенты, можете задавать их Дарье, Елена также, если какие-то такие вопросы будут, Даша тоже на связи.
И я пришлю вам потом презентацию, которую я собираюсь сейчас показывать. Все слайды я вам пришлю потом, так что если кто-то захочет в PDF-версии, она будет доступна.
Отлично. Хорошо. В таком случае, да, я думаю, что можно уже через минутку начинать. Даша, передаю тебе слово. И можем продолжать. Всем спасибо. Еще увидимся. Дарья будет модерировать оставшееся время. Всего доброго.
Да, всем здравствуйте. Здравствуйте, Елена. Очень приятно познакомиться. Вот, я надеюсь, что у студентов будет сегодня много вопросов, так как мы уже номинировали студентов в ваш университет. Поэтому, надеюсь, для них эта презентация пройдет очень полезно и интересно.
Хорошо, я постараюсь ответить на максимум вопросов. На те, которые не смогу ответить, Если что, запишу, и тогда вернусь к вам попозже, так сказать, в письменном виде, чтобы на них ответить.
Хорошо, спасибо большое.
Я могу сейчас, вот, как это сказать, вы видите мой экран?
Да-да-да.
Угу. Хорошо, я тогда могу начинать, или мы еще подождем пару минут?
Ну да, давайте начнем. Время уже 4.
Угу. Хорошо, тогда, как я сказала, презентация моя на английском, ну, я проведу ее на русском, если, я не знаю, хотя мне уже сложнее говорить на русском, чем на английском и на французском, я уже здесь 6 лет живу. Если какие-то вопросы, можете задавать в любое время. Спасибо всем присутствующим. Очень приятно видеть интерес к нашей школе, и те студенты, которые уже номинированы или пока думают насчет возможности приехать в нашу школу. Мы всех будем очень рады видеть. И я вам дам несколько, как сказать, какую-то информацию про нашу школу, и если вы не найдете всю информацию в этой презентации, как я сказала, задавайте вопросы. Мы очень гордимся нашей школой, нашими ценностями, нашими миссиями и так далее. Как говорит наш директор, мы подготавливаем, если так сказать на английском, change makers who through innovation and humanism will develop socially responsible companies. У нас очень интернациональная школа, я думаю, у вас уже были какие-то фидбэки, может быть, от тех студентов, которые уже участвовали в наших программах. И у нас очень много иностранных студентов, практически половина всех наших студентов иностранцы, так что у нас очень развита эта иностранная, так сказать, сторона нашей школы. Всего в нашей школе около 6 тысяч студентов в 2 кампусах. У нас 2 кампуса в 2 разных городах, в Лиле и в Париже. У нас уже 10 тысяч выпускников. У нас больше 160 профессоров из 47 разных стран, то есть у нас очень много иностранных студентов, у нас очень много иностранцев в стафе, так сказать, в администрации, также у нас очень много иностранных профессоров. У всех у них есть докторская степень. Мы работаем более чем с 300 университетами в 75 странах, включая ваш университет, и с 2500 партнерских компаний со всем, что касается работы, стажировки и так далее. Как я уже сказала, у всех наших профессоров есть докторская степень. 77% из них иностранцы. У нас есть 4 центра, research centers, куда вы, понятное дело, приглашаетесь с превеликим удовольствием участвовать в этой работе. Мы также очень гордимся нашими accreditation labels. Наша школа, так называемая, мне уже, как я говорила, иногда сложно говорить на русском, Triple Crown School of International Accreditations с аккредитациями Ects, HSE SPb и Mba. Мы обладатели лейбла с прошлого года Bienvenue en France, потому что Франция запустила этот лейбл для школ, которые принимают иностранных студентов. Насчет наших позиций в международных ранкингс, мы 7-е во Франции, 32-е в мире, и также вы увидите, мы в разных рейтингах находимся на лидирующих местах. Как я уже сказала, у нас в нашей школе 2 кампуса в Лиле и в Париже. Париж, я думаю, вы знаете, где это. Лиль – это на севере Франции, и где-то в часе езды на поезде от Парижа, то есть два кампуса между собой не так уж и далеко находятся. То есть у нас много студентов, которые приезжают в Лиль, они там проводят, допустим, всю неделю, и если им нужно, они могут в любое время приехать в Париж на выходные или даже вечером. То есть час на поезде – это не так далеко. Франция довольно-таки маленькая страна по сравнению с Россией. Вот, поэтому вы можете выбрать, если вы приезжаете на учебу в EDHEC, вы можете выбрать любой город, то есть Лиль или Париж. Мы предлагаем одинаковые курсы, наши профессора имеют одинаковый уровень в обоих городах, то есть единственное различие, если так сказать, между двумя, то что Париж все-таки немного дороже в плане жилья, в основном жилья, все остальное, все, что касается цен на еду, на транспорт. Лиль может быть чуть-чуть дешевле, чем Париж, но в основном разница в ценах на жилье. То есть многие студенты едут в Лиль по, так сказать, финансовым соображениям, и в Париж просто приезжают каждые выходные, или, если хочется, как я сказала, можно даже вечером приехать туда. Итак, разницы, собственно, как я сказала, в плане нашей школы разницы нет между двумя кампусами. Одинаковые курсы, одинаковые профессоры, все одно и то же. В плане города Париж, я думаю, сильно не нуждается в представлении. Париж – это столица, и, собственно, я думаю, все более-менее слышали хотя бы о ней. Лиль – менее известный город. Тем не менее, очень хороший, очень красивый, большой для Франции, очень динамичный город. EDHEC находится в центре Лиля, то есть вокруг еще, так как EDHEC, наша школа, это часть университета Lille Catholic University, то есть вот это как настоящий как сказать, университетский кампус, где, допустим, вот этот университет, Lille Catholic University, и много школ вокруг, медицинская школа, EDHEC, школа инженерная, и еще много разных. И, то есть вы как бы живете в настоящем кампусе, вы видите много вокруг студентов, то есть такая студенческая жизнь. В Париже мы находимся в районе Ла Défense, это бизнес-район, это, чтобы вам дать идею, это как Москва-Сити, только намного больше по размеру. То есть вы вокруг видите уже не студентов, а больше банкиров, каких-то офисных работников. То есть разница вот в этой атмосфере. Мы предоставляем студентам выбор как бы насчет кампуса. Вы можете выбрать абсолютно любой, у нас нет каких-то ограничений. А насчет Лиля, то есть это наш исторический кампус, он был первый до Парижа, основанный в 1964 году. Это очень большой кампус, я потом покажу несколько фото. И все, что вам нужно, в принципе, естественно, и для учебы, и для студенческой жизни, и для экстрастуденческой жизни вы все в Лиле найдете. Вы можете вот увидеть фото наших классов, библиотеки, каких-то вне классовых занятий и так далее. То есть все, что вам нужно для учебы, естественно, все есть. Все, что нужно, как я сказала, вне учебы, в городе вы тоже все найдете. Рестораны, кафе, бары, музеи и так далее, и так далее. И, как я уже упомянула, мы являемся частью Lille Catholic University, это частный университет, первый частный университет во Франции, который был основан в 1875 году, который включает в себя множество школ, как я говорила, школа медицинская, школа инженерная, школа искусств и так далее, и так далее. И то есть в Лиле вы окунаетесь по полной в эту атмосферу студенческой жизни. Лиль – это третий по величине город во Франции, четвертый, простите, во Франции, третий по величине студенческий город во Франции. Находится недалеко от аэропорта Шарль-де-Голль, то есть если вы собираетесь путешествовать, мы все надеемся, что мы возобновим путешествия все после пандемии как можно скорее. Путешествовать очень удобно, потому что у вас вы можете на транспорте добраться до аэропорта Шарль-де-Голль в Париже, то есть это 50 минут на транспорте, и оттуда, понятно, у вас есть рейсы в любую страну, и я знаю, что наши студенты всегда очень-очень много путешествуют, потому что потому что это дешево, билеты очень дешевые здесь для путешествий в Европу. Это очень близко, потому что вы можете запросто поехать на выходные хоть в Португалию, хоть в Испанию, хоть куда, то есть очень удобно. И понятно, что если вы живете в Париже, то же самое, где-то также у вас и займет 50 минут до аэропорта, если вы живете в центре Парижа. Наш парижский кампус находится, как я сказала, в бизнес-районе. Это очень-очень большой район, где вы видите все вот эти небоскребы, впечатляющие большие шопинг-центры и так далее, которые район, несмотря на то, что это прежде всего КСК бизнес-район, привлекает очень много туристов. У нас 2 здания, которые занимает наша школа. У нас очень много классов, несколько библиотек, все то же самое, все, что вам нужно для успешной учебы, все это бесплатно, все это доступно. То есть в Париже у вас все есть, и мы 3 года назад открыли новый кампус тоже, вот, который там же тоже и находится. Ля Дефанс, этот район находится не в центре Парижа, потому что невозможно такую огромную площадь занимать в центре Парижа. Париж все-таки маленький для нас, русский город, но он находится очень близко от центра, то есть вы где-то за 15-20 минут на транспорте запросто доедете до центра, и он находится буквально в пешей доступности до Елисейских полей. Вот Елисейских полей. Собственно, вот если вы видите на фото Paris Campus Area, вот эта огромная арка, EDHEC занимает в ней несколько этажей, и вот чуть ниже вы видите с нашим желтеньким шаром, это отдельное здание нашей школы. То есть вот так выглядит этот район Ля Дефанс. Вот наши типичные такие классы, Students Area, то есть, как я сказала, все, что вам нужно для успешной учебы. Ну и, собственно, Париж, думаю, как я говорила, не нуждается в особом представлении. Это столица Франции, думаю, всем известно, с богатой жизнью, с музеями, ресторанами и так далее. Кстати, со вчерашнего дня Франция начинает открывать рестораны, музеи, то есть жизнь возобновляется наконец-то. Пока что еще не на 100%, может быть, как я слышала, в России, но, тем не менее, мы возвращаемся к нормальной жизни, поэтому мы все надеемся, что к новому семестру все будет открыто. Насчет программы по обмену, как сказала Дарья, уже кто-то есть, кто записан в эту программу, кто-то только раздумывает, как, собственно, какую школу выбрать для будущего, может быть, года. Чтобы вам объяснить, как проходит наша программа, собственно, когда вы являетесь студентом по обмену, exchange student, вы участвуете в программе EDHEC, которая называется Bba Program. Это наша основная программа, то есть для всех местных, так сказать, студентов. И эта программа 5-летняя, она разделена на 3 года bachelor и 2 года мастер. И студенты заканчивают все, как бы, чтобы получить диплом, нужно закончить все 5 лет. Bachelor level это более такой общий курс со всеми абсолютно предметами, которые вам нужны для общего, так сказать, развития, accounting, finance, human resources и так далее, и так далее. И когда вы уже переходите на 4-й год, наши студенты могут выбрать себе специализацию. Собственно, в этой же программе и участвуют наши студенты по обмену. Эта программа в 2018 году была признана 32-й в мире и 6-й во Франции. То есть мы очень ей гордимся по праву. Если вы приезжаете к нам по обмену, вы можете выбирать из курсов либо bachelor, либо master. Если вы bachelor student, вы выбираете курсы bachelor. Если вы уже на 4-м году вашего обучения, вы можете комбинировать курсы между bachelor и master. Обычно наши студенты берут курсов на 30 где-то ECTS credits. Я знаю, что это, в общем-то, то же самое, что тот же самый, как сказать, мне же действительно иногда сложно говорить по-русски, workload, как и в вашем университете. Вы можете брать меньше курсов, можете брать больше, но обычно все берут 30 ECTS credits. И вы можете выбрать из курсов по программам Accounting, Economics, Innovation. Здесь все они перечислены. У нас очень-очень-очень большой лист курсов, которые доступны для студентов, то есть у вас очень-очень большой выбор, и, естественно, у нас есть целая команда, которая занимается этим в течение недели и больше, занимается вашим расписанием, консультирует вас насчет курсов и так далее, и так далее. То есть чтобы потом сформировать ваше расписание так, чтобы оно отвечало и вашим интересам в плане учебы, и чтобы там не было конфликтов в расписании и так далее, и так далее. Как я сказала, у нас целая команда из 5 человек, которая занимается, собственно, почти только этим. Собственно, даты семестров. Первый семестр начинается у нас в августе, и начинается с Orientation Week, то есть вы приезжаете на эту Orientation Week за неделю до начала курсов, и во время этой недели мы вам рассказываем, собственно, про всякие формальности, которые нужно соблюсти в плане визы, в плане контрактов на жилье, в плане транспорта и так далее, и так далее. То есть мы вас ориентируем, собственно, по поводу ваших будущих месяцев во Франции. И по вечерам у нас есть International Club, который вас сопровождает по всяким ресторанам, барам, клубам. Иногда вы с ними путешествуете, если хотите, и так далее, и так далее. То есть это не скучная неделя, когда вам приходится слушать целыми днями только про всякие формальности. Это очень такая развлекательная неделя. И мы вас приглашаем, собственно, приехать вот к началу этой недели. Если вы не можете по каким-то личным причинам, ничего страшного, это никаких санкций за собой не несет, но мы вам рекомендуем приехать. И второй семестр у нас начинается в январе. Мы просим студентов приехать к 4 января. Вы можете, понятно, приехать раньше, если вы хотите, чтобы обустроиться во Франции. И потом через неделю вы начинаете свои курсы. Как я уже сказала, мы достаточно, как сказать, достаточно flexible по поводу дат. Если по каким-то личным причинам вы не можете быть именно вот к началу Orientation Week или даже курсов, ничего страшного, вы можете через ваших координаторов нам это передать или написать нам напрямую. Как бы это не несет за собой никаких проблем. Мы вас рады видеть даже чуть попозже, если по каким-то причинам вы должны приехать позже. Насчет жилья. Жилье – это достаточно такой деликатный вопрос, как и везде, и особенно во Франции, ввиду своих, так сказать, я не буду вам врать, достаточно высоких цен по сравнению с Россией. Я думаю, это не сюрприз ни для кого. В Европе цены достаточно высокие по сравнению с Россией. Мы помогаем вам найти жилье. То есть как только вы официально приняты в нашу программу по обмену, мои коллеги, которые занимаются хаузингом, они вам дают всю информацию, то есть отдельно для Лиля, отдельно для Парижа, в зависимости от того, в какой город вы едете, по поводу разных опций, которые как бы могут у вас быть. То есть они вам предлагают, у нас есть резиденции, с которыми мы работаем, у нас есть частные квартиры, с которыми мы работаем. У нас нету своих собственных общежитий в EDHEC, но мы работаем со многими-многими резиденциями, со многими-многими частными квартирами. То есть и мои коллеги дают всю информацию студентам по поводу, прежде всего, по поводу бюджета, потому что в основном студенты выбирают в зависимости от их бюджета, то есть могут ли они себе позволить, допустим, все понимают, что трехкомнатная квартира в центре Парижа будет стоить, конечно, дороже, чем, допустим, студия где-то чуть подальше от центра. То есть в зависимости от бюджета вы можете выбрать, где жить. В среднем в Лиле это в месяц жилье стоит где-то между 400 и 800 евро. В Париже это где-то между 500 и 1200 евро в месяц. Если у вас виза, которую сейчас, в принципе, только эти визы дают, которая называется SPb, то есть виза, студенческая виза на полгода или год, вы можете подать на Housing Subsidies, может быть, вы слышали, называется CAF. То есть французское правительство помогает всем, включая иностранных студентов, немного деньгами, чтобы платить за жилье. То есть в среднем, если вы платите, допустим, где-то 800 евро или 700 или даже 500, где-то 100-200 евро правительство Франции вам платят, чтобы помочь вам платить за жилье. Там есть определенные условия в плане, вы должны остаться минимум на 3 месяца во Франции, но обычно наш семестр длится 5-6, то есть это не проблема. И нужно соблюсти некоторые формальности, с которыми мы вам помогаем. Нужно иметь с собой кое-какие документы, например, ваше свидетельство о рождении. В остальном вы можете подать на эти субсидии. То есть это как бы неплохая помощь. По поводу application на наши программы, лучше всего это сделать через ваших координаторов. Я вам тут описала процедуру, но все-таки в основном эти процедуры все проходят через ваших координаторов. Я думаю, они вам лучше объяснят, как это делать. По поводу визы, вам нужна будет виза Schengen Student Visa, которую, в принципе, не так сложно получить, потому что как только вы зачислены в наши программы, собственно, это потом не представляет проблем получить студенческую визу на 6 месяцев или на год, в зависимости от того, насколько вы остаетесь. Вот. Эта виза дает вам право учиться во Франции, ну и также путешествовать по всей зоне Шенгена. То есть вы можете вполне, как я сказала, и это стоит очень-очень дешево здесь, в Европе, поехать, отдохнуть. Можно и во Франции. Франция прекрасная страна, но также во все страны типа Португалии, Испании и так далее, и так далее. Как я уже сказала, у нас есть International Club, который сопровождает, то есть это французские студенты, которые сопровождают иностранных студентов. Они организуют разные путешествия, разные походы по дискотекам, разные вечера и так далее, и так далее. То есть они вам не дадут соскучиться. Если у вас какие-то будут вопросы, как я сказала, вы можете всегда обратиться к вашим координаторам и через них нам передать ваши вопросы, либо я вам оставила здесь напрямую наши контакты. Так что с удовольствием, если вам нужна какая-то информация, мы ею поделимся. Насчет, как я уже сказала, у вас в EDHEC и вообще во Франции все, что вам нужно для успешной учебы и для успешной жизни. Как я уже говорила, жизнь достаточно дорогая, то есть, чтобы вам примерно дать представление, в Лиле это где-то 900-1300 евро в месяц, включая жилье, то есть вам будет стоить здесь жить. В Париже чуть побольше, между где-то 1200 и 2000 евро в месяц, включая жилье. Ну, это, конечно, зависит от вашего, так сказать, от вашего образа жизни. Если вы хотите 2 раза в день кушать только в ресторанах и много путешествовать, конечно, это будет стоить дороже, чем если вы, допустим, снимаете квартиру с кем-то, и вы готовите для себя, и то есть там откладываете на путешествие или на что-то. Но чтобы вам дать как бы идею о том, сколько стоит здесь жить, вот примерно столько. Вам нужна будет страховка. Я думаю, ваши координаторы смогут вам лучше объяснить, какие типы страховок существуют для Европы. Но вы также бесплатно, это абсолютно бесплатно, раньше это стоило около 300 евро, но уже 2 года как это бесплатно. Франция вам предоставляет свою собственную бесплатную страховку, которая вас покрывает во Франции. Но желательно иметь еще одну дополнительную международную. Тем не менее, если вы здесь идете к врачу во Францию, вам возмещают где-то 70% от визита. То есть, я надеюсь, вам не придется здесь ходить к врачам, но тем не менее, если вдруг Франция вам предоставляет бесплатную страховку. Для студентов с особыми нуждами у нас есть тоже специальный офис. Если вам нужна какая-то специальная помощь, вы можете всегда к нам обратиться. У нас есть тоже целая команда, которая работает в нашем Health Center. И насчет жизни как бы в кампусе у нас есть, как я сказала, библиотеки, кафе, спортивные комплексы рядом. У нас есть очень много студенческих ассоциаций, наш International Club, который организует очень-очень много путешествий. Во Франции, не сомневайтесь, есть что делать. Тут скучать никогда не приходится. Тут очень-очень много развлечений. И, собственно, вот несколько фото вам из Лиля, из Парижа, чтобы вы представляли, как весело у нас здесь во Франции. И, как я уже сказала, со вчерашнего дня открываются рестораны, открываются музеи, мы потихонечку возвращаемся к нормальной жизни, благодаря вакцинации в основном. И очень надеемся, что вы сможете приехать. И у нас есть также для тех, кто, может быть, по каким-либо причинам не может или не хочет приехать на полгода или год по обмену, у нас есть короткие Summer Programs, которые длятся 2, 3, 4 недели. В этом году мы готовы к любому формату, как и все, наверное, on-campus, онлайн. Для тех, кто может приехать во Францию, они будут учиться здесь, во Франции. Для тех, кто не может приехать, курсы будут для них онлайн. То есть мы готовы к любому исходу событий, так сказать. И вот эти вот Summer Programs, у нас их 4, International Summer Academy, Entrepreneurship and Innovation, Fashion Business, Digital Marketing. Все эти программы, они в Париже. В Лиле мы пока не проводим коротких Summer Program, потому что студенты обычно предпочитают на короткое время приехать в Париж, потому что это Париж. Тем не менее, в Лиле мы тоже собираемся их открывать. И еще раз скажу вам, что даже если вы приезжаете в Лиль, это не значит, что там вам будет нечего делать. Вы также сможете и приезжать и в Париж, и ездить на юг Франции. И Лиль просто чудесный город. Я работаю в Париже, но очень часто езжу в Лиль, рядом с которым находится Бельгия, кстати. Очень-очень рядом. У нас многие люди приезжают каждый день на работу из Бельгии, то есть вы можете путешествовать сколько хотите. По поводу Summer Programs, как я сказала, я потом передам эту презентацию вашим координаторам, то есть если вам нужна будет какая-то более полная информация про нее, вы можете спросить их. Вот цены на нее, собственно, они варьируются в зависимости от формата, прежде всего, on-campus или онлайн. Эти программы обычно длятся от 3 до 4 недель, иногда 2 недели. И цена, которую вы видите здесь, она включает все, то есть хаузинг, жилье и все остальное. И, собственно, саму программу. Если вам нужно будет больше брошюр, вы можете всегда обратиться к нам или просто вот тут ссылки, которые работают, вы можете их скачать. То есть, опять же, повторюсь, если по каким-то причинам вы не можете или не хотите приехать во Францию на весь семестр или на 2 семестра, вы вполне можете поучаствовать в Summer Programs на несколько недель. Тут мы помогаем студентам найти жилье, которое входит в стоимость Summer Programs, опять-таки в зависимости от ваших пожеланий, где вы хотите жить и так далее, и так далее. И, собственно, все. Я постаралась очень так быстро рассказать. Извините за мой запинающийся русский язык. Я очень редко на нем разговариваю. Если у вас какие-то вопросы, на которые я могу ответить, я с удовольствием их выслушаю.
Елена, спасибо большое за презентацию. На самом деле было очень интересно. Мне кажется, было много полезной информации. Так, уважаемые студенты, да, Илья, пожалуйста, какой у вас вопрос?
Здравствуйте, у меня вот такой вопрос. То есть меня номинировали в университет в Лиле, и уже просто меня номинировали где-то около 3 месяцев назад, но сообщение оттуда не поступало. Я вроде зашел на сайт университета и не нашел конкретных действий. Нужно
Не
делать
волнуйтесь,
поиск.
вам ничего конкретно с вашей стороны делать не нужно. Если вы как бы официально номинированы через ваших координаторов, то все в порядке, это значит, мы это все учли. У нас сейчас просто очень-очень-очень такой, как и для ваших координаторов, занятый период, поэтому мы студентов, как только возможно им ответить, мы ответим. Плюс еще моя коллега, которая занимается, собственно, номинациями, я вам объясню эту задержку, она, собственно, заболела ковидом, поэтому несколько недель ее просто не было, поэтому, так как это как бы нередкий случай, сейчас она выздоровела, и сейчас она как бы возвращается к работе, так сказать, поэтому это повлекло за собой определенную задержку, но в общем и целом не волнуйтесь, если вы номинированы, вы скоро получите ваш acceptance letter, другие мои коллеги вам напишут насчет жилья, предложат вам разные опции жилья и так далее, вы сможете подавать на визу, так что...
Понял, спасибо.
Спасибо. Есть еще вопросы у кого-либо?
Да. У меня еще есть вопрос по поводу курса по французскому языку. Я вот интересовалась, будет ли такое для иностранных студентов, получается, будет ли у нас возможность взять какой-нибудь курс по французскому от вашего университета?
Я не все, честно, извините, услышала, что вы говорили. У вас вопрос насчет того, будут ли курсы по французскому, да?
Да.
Да, будут. У нас для всех студентов бесплатные курсы по французскому. Вам просто вначале нужно будет сдать онлайн-тест, чтобы мы увидели, в какую группу вас определить. То есть либо в группу начинающих, либо, допустим, вы уже, если немного говорите по-французски. Ну, в общем и целом, у нас абсолютно для всех студентов бесплатные курсы по французскому. Да.
Спасибо большое.
Хорошо, спасибо. Есть еще вопросы? Так, ну, вроде бы вопросов больше нет. Если будут вопросы, то тогда пишите нам на почту, а мы, соответственно, передадим это координаторам. Елена, спасибо вам еще раз огромное за вашу презентацию, за ваше время, что нашли время подключиться, рассказать.
Спасибо вам за то, что вы предоставили возможность рассказать о нашем университете, и еще раз мы будем очень вас всех ждать, и тех, кто уже номинирован, и тех, кто только раздумывает. Могу вам сказать, что по собственному опыту Франция замечательная страна, я здесь живу уже 6 лет, и, если честно, это замечательная возможность не только поучиться в одном из лучших университетов, так сказать, в EDHEC, но и также и попутешествовать, и познакомиться с другими иностранными студентами, и вообще жизнь во Франции, в принципе, я думаю, редко кто не мечтает о таком опыте, поэтому если у вас есть эта возможность, со своей стороны мы с удовольствием предоставим вам все, что нужно, чтобы вы смогли к нам приехать. И, как я говорила, для более детальной информации я передам Дарье презентацию, которую даже там будет даже чуть-чуть побольше информации и по поводу цен на Summer Programs, и по поводу цен на жилье и так далее, и так далее. Так что, если нужно, у вас это все будет. Спасибо вам еще раз, и будем ждать тех, кто приедет к нам уже в следующем семестре.
Хорошо, спасибо вам большое.
Спасибо, до свидания.
До свидания. And now I want to greet my colleagues from UCL, Lisa and Rita. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. I'm sorry, Dasha Zima, she's busy now. She has to go for another call. And my name is Dasha Savnchkina, and I'm her colleague. I'm responsible for outgoing mobility. And I think that we're ready for your presentation, and we'll be glad to know more about your university.
Can't hear you, Rita.
So we want to apologize for mixing up the times earlier. It happened, so we're really, really sorry. We're here, and I'm glad you're recording this, so those who maybe wanted to hear our presentations can watch the recording. Lisa, do you want to go first?
If that's okay with you. Yeah. Let me just share my screen. Can everybody see that? Great. So apologies in advance, I'm slightly losing my voice. So if I keep coughing throughout this, that's the British summer for you. My name is Lisa Walters. I look after admissions and student recruitment at UCL School of Slavonic and East European Studies, or UCL SES as we are normally shortened to. That's the UCL Portico building you can see there on that slide. So for those of you who don't know about UCL, it's University College London. We are the largest institution in the capital. We are first in the UK for research strength and 10th in the world. We've produced a number of Nobel Prize laureates amongst our alumni who've gone on to do fantastic things. And we were the first university in England to welcome students of any religion or social background, and the first to welcome women to university education in England. So within UCL, we are SES, and that's the School of Slavonic and East European Studies. We're very lucky to have our own departmental building, which you can see there in that slide. And we are the largest centre in the UK for the study of Russia, the Baltics, Central Eastern and Southeast Europe. So we are an area studies department, and we teach programmes in politics, history, economics, languages and culture at both undergraduate, so BA level, and postgraduate level, so masters. What this means for our students is, although they might be enrolled on a languages degree, they have access to a wide range of module options. And so we have flexible degree programmes, and as a study abroad student, that means you also have access to a large module catalogue of different choices that you can select from when you're with us. We have a huge number of extracurricular events. There is often events every lunchtime and evenings going in the school, and we are lucky that we attract a number of prominent speakers. Being in the heart of London means that we're often able to take speakers passing through from Europe. The Eurostar is only 5 minutes walk down the road, so we can often bring in people from Europe on a whim. The school is quite large. We have over 70 academic staff. They're all specialists, and we're a research-led university. What that means is our academic colleagues are all actively researching in their respective areas, and they bring that into the classroom. So students get exposed to cutting-edge research as part of their studies. All staff speak at least one language of the region, and as I've said, we cover a wide range of topics, including migration, cinema, languages and culture, political economy, foreign policy, security and sociology. So in terms of the makeup of the school, we have about 1,000 students studying with us. This is a real advantage. UCL is an absolutely huge university. We have about 45,000 students studying with us at any one time. And the fact that we have 1,000 in our department means you really get the best of both worlds. You're in a relatively small department, so you get to know your teachers really well and your classmates, but you benefit from everything that being in a large university such as UCL brings in terms of the facilities, in terms of the prestige, and again, our central London location. We have the SES Library, which is housed in our department. This is an award-winning resource. It holds over 400,000 volumes related to the area that we're interested in, so Eastern Europe and Russia. It has specialist language software, a very impressive film collection, and access to thousands more online resources, such as journals, newspapers, etc. And as I've said, we have a number of events outside of the classroom. So whilst you're with us, you'll be taking classes during the day between 9 to 6. But outside of that, in the evenings and during lunch times, you've got the opportunity to get involved with a number of book launches, to come to guest speaker events. We have very good contacts with the embassies of the region. So sometimes politicians or MPs might come and do a talk for our students, and journalists, filmmakers and authors all pop in to see us and share what they have been doing. And we have a really good SES committee. So this is made up of current students who represent the student body. They organise a number of their own events, both academic and social, including a very good SES football team, if football is anybody's thing. and they have the relevant societies such as the Ukrainian, Polish, Russian Society, etc. But also in terms of the student union at UCL, there are over 250 clubs and societies you can join. There's something for everybody. So in terms of what you can study, I mean, this just links to the study abroad pages on UCL, but if this is being recorded and I can share this presentation afterwards to circulate the link, you can study from any of the subject areas that I've mentioned, so politics, history, economics and business, languages and culture and film. The varied modules, they do change each year somewhat, so it's important that you check the module catalogue, and some will have prerequisite requirements, particularly if you're looking at, say, economics-based programs. We might ask you to have a certain level of mathematics or have studied economics in your current studies. But you can check that directly with me if you're in doubt about your eligibility. So in terms of applying, we offer either a full year at UCL, which would run from September to June. You can either come, or you can come for term 1, which would be September to the Christmas break, so December, or you can come from January to June, which would be 2 terms. Now UCL has 3 terms, but term 3, there is no teaching. So we're in term 3 at the moment. It's purely for exams and assessment. So if you come from January to June, you would take classes between January and March, and you would then sit the assessments in June and May. So the deadlines, 31st of March for a entry in September, and the 30th of September if you are thinking of joining us for term 2 and beyond. Important to note, you must apply online through the UCL system. We have an online portal. A nomination from your university is not an application. Although we like to know who's coming, you must submit your own application, and you'll be given access to the online portal where you can track the progress of that and where your offer will be issued, and you can then choose to accept or decline that. We do expect our students to be performing at an upper 2nd class level. Now for Russian students, that's normally a 4.5 out of 5 as an average mark. If you are slightly below that, we will still consider you, but 4.5 would be our standard entry requirement to give you an offer. And that's all I wanted to say. That was a very quick overview of what we do at SES, but I will be taking questions after Rita has given her presentation. So I will stop sharing now.
Thank you, Lisa. So I'm Rita Valjärvi. I'm a member of the academic/teaching staff, but currently I'm also affiliate tutor, international tutor, and head of mobility. So I'm like the host, I would say. So when and if you come to SES, so you will definitely meet me before teaching starts, or the other, because I'll be handing over this role to someone else in September, so you'll meet that person instead. So sort of looking after you. And I've also prepared a few quick slides here, so I'm going to share them. And I'll be mainly focusing on sort of sources of support and information, because a lot of you will probably have questions afterwards as well. Very specific pieces of information you need, especially if you've applied and you're waiting to hear back from us and so on. So I'm going to tell you who you can get in touch with. And also I'm going to talk about course choices. Lisa mentioned here that there are often requirements, like you need to have studied I don't know, a language, or you need to have studied maths, but also some courses are so popular that they don't allow affiliate students or people from outside the program to take them. And I'm also going to briefly mention taking courses outside SES at the end of my slideshow. So yes, so I'm the affiliate tutor until the 1st of September this year. And I have 2 main tasks. So I'm the academic contact and pastoral contact. I'll tell you what that means. But basically, I can advise you about your module choices from an academic perspective. Also kind of help you make decisions. You can talk to me, brainstorm with me. And I also sign learning agreements, which you need to have signed to get your grants, because we have some Erasmus style grants with HSE, don't we? So, and also confirmation of stay documents, and those can be done online, PDF, Word, so you don't necessarily need to see me. And what does pastoral care mean is basically each university student in England, or at least at UCL, is assigned a personal tutor who is there for you, who meets up with you regularly and sort of asks how you're doing academically, but also in terms of well-being, how you settling in, how you finding things. And it's a great thing to have. So we've met up regularly, not this term yet, but a few times a term, just to have a chat, hear what people have been up to, how they find their courses and so on. There are other excellent sources of support when you are actually at UCL. And I would suggest looking at this link. So there's information about personal safety while in London, about mental health, various resources, crisis help, counseling. Also, if you have a disability, there'll be information about that. So that's a great resource. And I'll tell you more about that if you actually do come to UCL. But if you're worried, let's say you're worried about one specific thing, you can email me in advance, but otherwise in the briefing before term starts, you'll hear about this. Then there's an affiliate administrator or coordinator. At the moment it's Robert, but interim within parentheses means that he's doing it while someone else is on a leave. But this administrator is responsible for administrative matters. So helping you check your timetable when you're actually here. Portico is like a system where we register course choices. If you end up changing your module, he'll help. If you have any sort of administrative questions, he'll be able to help and also refer you to the relevant member of the admin team. And Robert will be the one that will invite you to this Meet Your Department session before the start of term. So before teaching starts, you'll meet me or the other affiliate tutor, the new affiliate tutor, and Robert at UCL. Where else can you get support? So it's all complicated. So UCL has a lot of students, 45,000, Lisa just said, and this means that it's a huge organization, and it's sometimes a little bit tricky to know who to turn to and who to ask questions from. And there's a specific address and an email address for visa queries, healthcare queries, quarantine, COVID-related things, and life in London in general. So I'd recommend you have a look at that. So I sometimes ask questions like, oh, what's the cost of living? How do I register with the GP? And I'm not the expert, it's these people. And especially visas, we get visa queries, but I'm not involved in that. So do get in touch with them. Then there's a UCL study abroad office, which is mostly for outgoing students, so people who are our own students who go abroad. And they're the ones who deal with the Erasmus money. So this is relevant to some of you because you may get the grant. So I don't have access to any money, nor does Robert or Lisa, to my knowledge, but they're the ones who do that. And they may take a while to get a reply from them because they have very busy periods, but if you have problems not receiving your grant when you're here, then you can email the affiliate tutor who can try and help, but they're the ones who are in charge of that. And then I wanted to mention something, which is a great resource called UCL Writing Lab, which organizes academic writing workshops, essay writing, exam writing. They have daily drop-in sessions. So coming to UCL and getting to study in an English-speaking country is a great opportunity to improve your writing skills and improve your English, of course, but also how to, like, essay is the main form of assessment. And there you have to build your argument in a certain way, structure your essay in a certain way. They can really help with that. And choosing your courses, I'll just say this very quickly so we have time for questions. You can finalize these choices in the beginning of term because some of you are very keen and you have a very specific set of courses in mind. I would recommend having like an option B or even C because not all of the courses that you're interested in necessarily run that year because a member of staff might be on a research leave or they just don't have places. So have a selection of courses in mind. And like I said, some courses just aren't available for affiliate students because they're so popular and they're aimed like for a specific program, students in a specific program. And if you come, because you're coming to CES, you have to take 50% of your courses at CES. So often this is, let's say, 4 courses and you'll take 2 of those at CES. And the other half, let's say 2 courses, you can take at another department. But if you want to take courses outside CES, you have to be active and independent and find out about the courses yourself and get in touch with the other department. wait for a reply, and often they don't tell you, like at this time of year, they wouldn't be able to tell you whether you can take their courses, and you'd have to do it closer to term start. And some of you may also have questions about what's going to happen in the autumn in terms of COVID. So I'm going to stop the share, I think. So what we know, that what we've been told, and Lisa can correct me if I'm wrong, is that large lectures will be online or some kind of blended learning thing, whereas small group tuition will be on campus as much as possible. Of course, some people might be, I don't know, vulnerable, or they need COVID vaccinations. A lot of people are being vaccinated now, so that's also very good news. But that's the plan, to have small groups, like let's say you have a big lecture with 100 people, that'll be online, but then the small group, let's say these individual tutorials, as they're called, like more practical and interactive sessions, they'll be in person on campus. So that is the plan. We've been online or most of the year now, and only now have we been allowed to return back. Not that we have, because it's the exam period, like Lisa said, but that's what's happening, and that's the plan. That's all I have to say. Do you guys have any questions?
Thank you, Lisa, Rita, and I really hope that we can come back to this normal life, and it's good to hear that it will be like kind of hybrid. So dear students, do you have any questions? You have, yes, Yulia?
Yes, hi. Thank you so much for this event and for the opportunity to finally communicate with you, even though we've been in contact via email. And thank you so much, Lisa and Rita, for keenly responding to all of my questions. I was wondering if at this point there is any information about when possibly the final decision will be made, because like I know we received recently an email about it being postponed for some time, but I don't think like the final date was mentioned. Maybe I missed something, so I was wondering about that.
Yeah, there has been a delay at UCL, mostly because of the applications we've had for our full-time degrees. So they have started sending over decisions this week, I've noticed. So I would really hope in the next 14 days, people should start to get those offers out. So I do apologise for the length of time, but they are starting to move, and don't be concerned because most people haven't had an offer yet, and they will now that the deadlines have passed. There are other programs. Affiliate applications are much simpler to process. So I think it should be by the end of next week, and I will be chasing that up if you don't have a decision by the end of next week.
Thank you. I was also wondering about the accommodation. Like I know that UCL can help getting the dormitory option, but I know that it's not that common for the affiliate students as far as I know. So if you have any, I don't know, guesses about how it is gonna be the next term, for the fall term, will there be a chance of getting a dorm option?
Are you coming for the full year, Yulia, or is it just one term? Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, UCL won't guarantee accommodation unless you're coming for the full year. You can still apply for UCL accommodation, so I would still recommend, if you wanted to go down that path, to submit an application once you've got an offer. They can also supply you with a list of private housing providers, and also the University of London have a lot of accommodation very close to the CESE building, so they are also worth approaching. On the accommodation website, I believe there is a list of alternatives where you can have a look. If you get stuck, you can email me and I can put you in touch with someone from the accommodation office.
Or it might also be worth talking to those HSE students that are in London at the moment, because quite a few of you did manage to come here. So that might also be an idea. I'm happy to put you in touch with them as well.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. And the last one, if that's okay. about the workload that is possible to be taken from other departments. 50%, is it in like the credit weight or the amount of courses? I'm asking because...
So it'll end up being both, because normally in one term you sort of do four courses, let's say, and then 2 of those can be with another department.
It's just that I am aiming, if I'll be there, to take the literary and cultural theory course, and it is very heavy loaded. Like it's 1 course, but it weights as if there are 2. So will that be okay to take like this course from Cs?
No, it has to be the credit. Unfortunately, it has to be the credit. So it's 30 ECTS credits at 1 term. So if that course is 15, then you can take 2 7.5 ECTS credit courses somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much.
Okay, I understand. And it's a little bit confusing with the credit system, because you'll see when you get the kind of, Robert will send around this list of courses available to affiliates closer to the time when things have been confirmed. And it'll have 2 columns. One is UCL credits and ECTS credits, and it's a little bit confusing. So be careful with those. But I operate with ECTS credits because I know that's what many other universities do as well.
Okay, thank you so much. And I guess we have also some questions from Victoria. She has raised her hand. Victoria?
Yeah, but I had a question about the accommodation and it was already answered, so I don't have any more questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So are there any questions from our students?
I've just put my email in the chat, so if anyone thinks of anything afterwards, feel free to get in touch.
Well, that's a good idea. I'll do the same because my Finnish surname is a little bit tricky. There we go. I have a question. What's the weather like in St. Petersburg? Because it'll be very similar to Finland, if I may ask. Who can answer this question?
So these days it's really warm, and I even can say that it's really hot. But probably the weather will be worse. Will be getting worse and worse. It will be rainy, but we will see how it will be.
Okay, so you're in a better position, because Lisa, at least here where I am, is like terrible winds. I'm looking at the garden and it looks like all my garden furniture is flying off. This is not normal. It's just a weird spring weather.
Yeah, so we're waiting for summer. Okay. So if there are no questions, I would like to say one more time, thank you so much, Lisa and Rita, for finding the time and for joining us and for presentations. So I think it was really useful. And so, yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, and apologies again. It was quite embarrassing in the morning when we realized we're in the wrong place.
It's fine. Please don't worry about this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye. Уважаемые студенты, я думаю, что на этом мы закончим. Всю нашу сессию мы записывали, поэтому мы сделаем пост с записью. Также мы сделаем рассылку, так что если вы что-то пропустили, то сможете еще раз пересмотреть. Спасибо большое, что вы присоединились, нашли время. Надеюсь, вам было полезно и интересно. На этом я